right, you dogged it.
We have such sights to show you.
Never alone.
Let this be a lesson to you. Say no to drugs.
You are all my children now.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Vintage Horror Podcast, where we talk about all horror, not just the vintage kind. I'm your host, as always, the one and only host, Kyle. And with me tonight, I have Mark
Hey, what's up, host Kyle? The only host.
and Rob.
The only host we ever known.
Welcome back, everybody.
Tonight we will be talking about The People Under the Stairs from 1991.
What people under the stairs?
But first, gonna crack a cold one open with the boys. So what's up, Rob?
You know what?
Or you know what? Fine, Mark can go first.
let me interrupt this real quick.
Yeah.
What's up, Kyle? You never go first.
You're right.
That's right. We're breaking the format
So
today.
there's some big news that people are not gonna. Well, it doesn't matter to them because by the time they actually start listening to this, it'll be like way in the future. But our podcast is finally getting posted to different streaming
Platforms.
places, platforms. That's the word I'm
Platforms.
looking
You know what's
for.
bigger news?
Stop interrupting me.
Nah, really.
What?
You have shit in your pants tonight.
Okay, I do have shit in my pants, but yeah. So that's what's going on with me, man. This past week I haven't really done too much. Played a little bit of Fork Knife, a little bit of Resident Evil 2. And that's pretty much it, I guess. Nothing really new. Oh, tomorrow, me and Mark are heading over to Monster Mania. So when you guys hear this, it'll probably be 8 months from now, and it won't be relevant. But we'll be going tomorrow.
Not Monster Mania in August, the one in March.
Yeah, March 9th, we will be there. But I guess the next podcast, we will go over how great of a time we had. How about, I'll go with Mark since me and him are going tomorrow. What's up, Mark?
Or we would go over how bad of a time we had if it was bad. But I'm sure we'll have a good time.
It's always good.
Yeah. Well, it's sold out, so.
That's good.
Yeah, so
Rachel can't go.
it will be very hot in there, and everyone will be touching each other, so.
Can't wait.
But really nothing this week out of the ordinary. Work, sleep, video games, eat Taco Bell.
What'd you do at work, man?
Went to the vet a couple times. Went to the diner one day.
Oh, look at that. You got paid to go to a diner, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Went to Wendy's today at work.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we do a lot of that. I get paid for a lot of weird stuff. Hopefully no one at my work ever listens to this.
I can't find out.
Yeah. But really nothing much. Excited for Monster Mania tomorrow. Meet a couple of people going, you know. See our friend Steve. Shout out Steve.
No, please don't. Shout out Steve.
Shout out Steve.
Don't shout out Steve. So who do you want to meet?
I don't remember who's going, but I need to meet him.
So what? All right.
Yeah, whoever you're meeting, I want to meet.
So you're going to meet Christina Ricci?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Not that I don't like her. It's just that I don't like her, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Not enough to pay to meet her. I
Yeah,
get it.
like obviously Nev Campbell. I have to meet
Yes.
Robin Turney or Tooney, whatever her name is.
I don't even know if I'm going to meet her.
Well, I have to because The
Yeah.
Mentalist and Prison Break were like my favorite shows.
Yeah.
What about that kid from Halloween?
I want to meet him, but like then I'm spending entirely too much money.
Yeah. She was in something else, and I forget what it was.
Movie or TV show?
I think it was a movie.
The Craft?
Besides The Craft. When I was like going through stuff, I thought she was in something else, but I don't remember what.
I don't remember, honestly.
What's up with you, Rob? Or I'm assuming Mark was done.
Yeah, I'm done.
All
What's
right.
up, Rob?
Well, by process of elimination, I'm sure you can figure out that I am not going to Monster Mania, Super Monster Con, whatever it is. Yeah.
Wow, that's really wow, that's really weird, Rob.
Just so our listeners know, this is a running thing for the last couple of years. Every year, somebody asks me to go into Monster Mania, and I always say yes. And I keep telling them I'll buy the tickets tomorrow. So I'm going to buy the tickets tomorrow. I'll get there one day.
Yeah, I don't think you can buy them tomorrow because they're sold out.
I'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, but as for me, I got lucky this week. I had a day off on Monday, so I got to dive into some video games. Fork Knife, been playing. I think I'm getting worse as everyone's getting better. I'm kind of convinced of that now.
Yeah.
Maybe I should retire. I think I've passed my prime, but I love it too much. But I was able to get some time in with some other games. Working on Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I enjoyed that game. Kind of halfway through it right now. It's pretty good. It's part of the new Tomb Raider trilogy that rebooted after 2013. I'm really happy with the direction. I think Square Enix is in on that, which is crazy because I don't ever really think of Square Enix and Tomb Raider as a partner deal there working out, but it does. And also the new DLC for Assassin's Creed Odyssey is out. If you haven't played that game, I highly recommend it. It is a massive game. It will be a lot of your time and energy. If you don't have time and energy, don't even bother.
Which one's Odyssey?
It's the one in ancient Greece.
Okay.
It's really good, but I mean, I don't think and this is coming from somebody who plays a lot of open world games. It's exhausting, that game. There's no way in even almost a year of playing, I feel like I can see everything in that map. It is insanely large, and there's just so much to do. But regardless, I think it's a great game. It built off of Assassin's Creed Origins, so I like the direction that the franchise is going in. But yeah, man, little break from Fork Knife. I'm sure I'll be playing this weekend. You ever want to play with me on Xbox? I'll make sure you can follow me on Twitter. I drop my gamer tag on there, and I always welcome people to play. Please don't be bad. Thank you. Or don't be better than me. That's all I ask. So back to you, host with the most.
I think me and Kyle have the same idea right now.
That Rob's got shit in his pants?
Well, but
What?
he'll play with anyone, but he won't play with his friends.
Yeah, that's really weird. Well, no, that's not what I was thinking, but
Hold on, let me make this podcast private.
yeah. All right, so I guess that wraps everything up for that. So we'll move on to the main event, The People Under the Stairs from 1991. I'll throw it to you, Mark. You look like you got some stuff written down.
Not about the budget though.
Okay, well, let me then. It has an estimated budget of $6 million, and it grossed $24.2 million in the U.S., which I think is one of the biggest
Domestic grosses.
yeah, that we've seen in a movie so far from the ones we reviewed.
Yeah, I'd say so far, especially in a timely manner.
Maybe not It Follows.
It made its budget back rather quickly.
Yeah, almost in the first weekend.
Yeah, which
almost made
is
$6
far
million.
superior than some of the other films.
But I'm
we've
saying the
looked at.
return for what they put out.
I'm honestly surprised this was actually a $6 million budget. It seems less.
Well, they had to blow a lot of holes in walls. So.
I don't know.
All
It's
right.
weird.
But yeah, you can take it from there.
Someone
if you
needs
want.
to find out where that money went. If it went all to the movie.
Well, you got to think. Wes Craven.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was a bigger director.
Yeah, that makes. He probably got a lot of that budget.
Yeah. Because I don't think there's really any huge actors in it.
Not really. I don't think like.
The setting is pretty simple,
Yeah.
and there wasn't really special effects. I mean, there was, but there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll let you take it. Give us a little.
So it was directed and written by Wes Craven. R.I.P. to the GOAT.
The GOAT, straight up.
Miss you.
Love him.
He got the idea because Wes Craven got the idea from reading a story about someone's house that got robbed, and the police went there and found like this kept seeing all the doors were locked inside, and they had like children locked in a room and they weren't allowed out. So that's how he came up with the idea for People Under the Stairs.
I want to say someone just got arrested recently for that for having their kids chained up.
You hear about that crazy stuff all the time, though. Like,
But I'm saying like real recent, that, like these parents got arrested for chaining up their children and stuff, and
Yeah, it was like 6 kids, right?
neglecting them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they were dying of starvation. Or
didn't
something.
one of the kids like kill the parent or something like that?
No.
No, that's like a gypsy. What's her name? I think you're thinking of the girl that the mom kept saying she had like all these diseases.
Yeah, that one I remember. Where it's like, and like,
the
it
one that
found
they're
out
making a movie about.
Yeah.
yeah, they found that there was like nothing wrong with the girl at all.
So
Yeah.
she killed the mom. Yeah.
Yeah, they're making a movie about that. I don't
Yeah,
know
on
if you
Hulu.
saw that. Yeah.
But back to the movie, the cast isn't too big, like notable. I guess Brandon Adams, was big in the '90s for a couple years. You know, Mighty Ducks. He was in Sandlot. But like other than that, like I can't think of anything notable he's really in. Like
Moonwalker.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It was like an anthology. Well, not an anthology. It was like a compilation of a bunch of Michael Jackson's music videos. Because I guess he was in the Smooth Criminal music video.
Yeah, I don't.
Shout out to the Go MJ.
Well,
Shout
I
out.
don't really know about that. He's kind of abused people. So
Leaving Neverland. Need to check it out.
It's a good
did
watch.
you watch it?
No, I need to. I just said.
Oh.
Did you say you watched it, Rob?
I haven't watched it yet, but I
Oh.
said it's from what I understand from people that have watched it.
People
They
are very mad and horrified.
yeah, but I'm still not ashamed that you and I went
I love Michael Jackson.
when This Is It came out in theaters, and we were out there really grooving.
We were at the midnight release and I saw it 2 other times.
Hell yeah!
Anyway, keep going.
But yeah, the one that I find weird. Well, not weird. The girl that plays Alice, AJ Langer.
Yes.
Is she like a princess or something in some other country now? She married some guy.
I have no idea.
Rob, if you could look it up while I continue to talk, I think she married a guy in another country, and she's like the princess of some country or something.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
But
for
yeah,
her.
she was in Private Practice, Escape from L.A. She wasn't really that notable.
No.
Both the parents, Wendy. I didn't put
Robbie?
I didn't put her last name for some
It's
reason.
either Robbie or Roby.
Yeah, and then Everett.
Everett McGill.
Yeah, both were in Twin Peaks,
Yeah.
and Wendy was also in Vampire in Brooklyn.
Which was also directed by Wes Craven.
Was that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I never knew that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Vin Rhames, literally, has been in a billion movies.
Yeah.
And I
Pulp
don't-
Fiction, Piranha 3D, Day of the Dead 2008, Dawn of the Dead 2004, Jacob's Ladder. He was also in other non-horror movies like Striptease, Con Air, Baby Boy, Undisputed, and your favorite, Mark, Final Fantasy, The Spirit Within.
And he was also in all the Mission Impossibles.
Yes.
But I don't think back then he would have came with a big salary.
No, I don't think so. Because
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know where the $6 million went.
his
For, like,
bigger
definitely
movies,
wasn't on the cast.
Yeah, his bigger movies were definitely after this.
And then you have people like the guy that plays Sean Wilhelm, Whelan, whatever his name is.
Whalen.
He's been in like Never Been Kissed.
Mm-hmm.
He was in that TV show Superstore for like a minute. Which funny fact, I don't know if you knew who Hilary Swank is,
Yes.
but she auditioned for that role
For which one?
for Roach.
Really?
Yeah, it was wrote to be either a
Yeah,
female or
yeah,
a
it was a
man.
gender neutral right,
Yeah.
and so they went with it. And see, can you imagine her being Roach?
Honestly, I could. I mean, I feel like his
Performance,
face-
his performance
yeah.
and his face work for it, but
Yeah.
like I was trying to picture that in my
But
head.
her face isn't much different. I don't mean that in a bad way. 'Cause she's a good-looking girl.
Yeah, that's
but-
what I'm like. That doesn't make-
Shots
but
fired.
I couldn't imagine a different person in that role.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he plays it pretty good.
Yes.
Did you ever look up that thing about AJ? What if?
Yeah, so she actually married the Earl of Devon in England, and she became a countess.
Yeah. Okay. So she wasn't a princess. So I knew she was something like that, and she like quit acting for a minute because of that, and then she came back a couple years ago for Private Practice.
It was cool to see Everett McGill in this though, as Daddy.
He was also in Silver Bullet.
Yeah, he was. Which
Shout out Trav.
I hope we do that movie at some point because I love that film.
You know, it ain't gonna come from me. So
I'm gonna tell you that didn't come from me either.
I guess I'm gonna pick another popular one. Here we go.
I don't care.
Well, I don't know. I've only seen it once.
But it was cool because Everett McGill, aside from that, we have him. He's in Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And what you guys may not realize, I don't know if any of you guys watch Bond films at all.
No.
But he's actually in License to Kill, which is one of the more controversial
I'm
Bond
not gonna lie. I
films.
didn't know that was a Bond film. I thought that was like the movie License to Drive with Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. I thought it was like a sequel.
I know. So that was the one with Timothy Dalton as James Bond.
The only
A
James
very
Bond
short-
movie I ever
a
seen
very. It's like that short lull between the Roger Moore James Bond, which a lot of people loved,
And Pierce Brosnan.
and Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
So he was in the middle there, and people were like, okay. So yeah, he was in that film, but he has surprisingly, when I was going through his file, Everett McGill is quite an accomplished actor with a lot of films to credit and a lot of Broadway stage performances too.
Yeah, but just because they were in a lot doesn't mean we give a fuck about a lot.
Okay, don't you disrespect him like that. He's a
I'm
nice
just
man.
saying.
He's a nice man. He's daddy to you.
All right, ready to get into this?
So yeah, let's get
Is
into
that
the meat
everyone-
of the
is that
movie.
everything with the
Yeah,
cast?
look, there's other people like the girl Ruby that played by Kelly Jo Minter. She was in like Lost Boys and Nightmare 5, but I don't remember her in Nightmare on Elm Street 5. That is,
Me neither.
I don't remember if
She was
she's
also in Popcorn,
yeah.
which I don't think I've ever seen.
but I'm saying other than that, I really don't see anyone in the cast as a big name or I don't know if like this came out before Mighty Ducks, right? In Sandlot.
Yes.
So Brandon Adams wasn't asking for a lot.
No, the only thing he was in besides before that was the Smooth Criminal music video.
Never even seen it.
Okay, well, that's the only thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for everybody. So the movie opens up with a tarot card reading. And what's her name? Ruby?
Yeah, Ruby.
Ruby's.
Ruby Soho.
She's the one doing the reading, right?
Yeah.
They don't really show you.
No.
Right? But it's her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's her voice.
Ruby's giving the reading on Poindexter, who is also known as Fool.
Fool. Stay cool. Fool.
Yeah, and you find out that Fool and his family are being evicted from their house.
Yeah, from
apartment.
which I work in an apartment complex, and the way this is that's impossible to be kicked out. Like you have to be out in 3 days if you don't pay by midnight.
What?
You can sign whatever you want. There's no way that you can kick out them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when this was, but I think it's one of those like suspension of disbelief kind of things.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying like from what I know from working in a apartment
Yeah,
complex,
definitely is so much harder than that.
It's very hard to kick out.
Well,
people.
what they were saying is that they were late on the rent, and in the fine print it says they have to pay triple.
Yeah,
which
no, I understand that, but I'm saying
Yeah.
unless it was from like, even if it's from a private person, like, or a private renter, like I rented to them.
Yes.
It's so hard to kick someone out.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, I'm gonna totally bring the history nerd into this scenario. There was a long-standing history, and I can see a lot of commentary on it in this film. And I'm saying in 1991, not saying it was like this, or even today, it's nowhere near like this. But in the decades leading up, through the 50s, 60s, 70s, even going back into the 30s and 40s, there was a large-scale practice, especially in urban neighborhoods, of white developers basically writing stuff like that in the fine print and taking advantage of black sharecroppers or others in poverty to just keep the rollover flying through and taking advantage of them. And there's a lot of commentary in this film about the plight of urban neighborhoods of color in the 1990s and before that. And so, yeah, definitely suspension of disbelief, but I could see what Wes was trying to do in the commentary on that. And,
Right.
There's a clear narrative here of we are being taken advantage of and the life and stuff's being siphoned out of our communities.
Yeah.
So just a little background on that, and I'll keep coming back to that throughout the film.
So yeah, basically Leroy, who's played by Vin Rhames, is telling Fool that they're going to get evicted if they don't come up with some money. And then it cuts, I believe, to after that whole scene, they cuts to like the house, right?
Mommy and Daddy.
Yeah, Mommy and Daddy.
Yeah, the characters who just are known as Mommy and Daddy. Their daddy's eating, and I don't remember what Mommy's doing. Knitting,
Sewing the dress.
Yeah, sewing the dress. That's right.
But what is confusing in that scene when they show the dude and he's eating, I never like, why is he eating something with bullets in it?
Because he shot it himself.
I understand, but wouldn't you take the bullets out before you cooked it?
I mean, I guess it's just to show how kind of
that's why-
savage he is. Like,
Yeah.
he's not like a civilized person.
Yeah, and
I'm saying for taste, I don't know what the bullets I'm assuming taste terrible.
probably like metal.
So I'm saying, why would you cook that in your food?
And but I don't think he cooked it
I don't know.
because like there's this. I'll go
Yeah.
back to it. There's
Yeah,
a scene later on with
Yeah,
where he's got
but
blood
this,
on his mouth.
This
and
looked like it was cooked though.
I couldn't tell, but the buckshot told me right away. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
and he
so
says,
this guy
like-
is supposed to be a badass evil guy.
he could have
All
got
right,
that
I
steak
get
from
it.
Outback. I don't know.
And he
Probably
said-
bought it. We probably bought it from Walmart. We don't
And he
endorse
also
Walmart. I'm
says
not
like
bringing it up
dang
again.
buckshot. So he definitely shot whatever it was. You can tell he hunts
That's some
kind
big buckshot though.
of. Well, again, suspension. Well, this whole movie, I don't want to say it's whimsical, but it kind of is.
It is, yeah.
But it's not to the extreme of other things like you would see in like a Tim Burton film. Whimsical like that, but it's definitely whimsical and as an over exaggerated like everything.
Oh yeah, certainly, very much so.
Yeah.
So after they introduce those two characters, then it goes back to, I believe, Fool and Leroy's getting up in his face like you need to do something about it.
Right.
Yeah, and then Ruby's like, don't touch him, and he's like, don't touch me, like.
Yeah, we got all the tropes on
And
display here.
Then he's trying to say like, they're like, oh, we could tell them about they have gold
Yeah.
in the house, and he knows where the landlord lives because it's the same place as the liquor store.
Somebody who works at the liquor store. Does he say who works at the liquor store? Or just one of his friends, right? I think.
Yeah, I think there's a connection where he's like, one of my guys took
Yeah.
down the liquor store, and I think it's who's the partner? What's his name? Spencer. Because that van, later on you'll find out, was the van that was involved in the robbery.
Right.
So I'm wondering if Spencer was the one who took down the liquor store and got the intel.
But I think they said they had someone inside at the liquor store.
Who was feeding them information and stuff.
Yeah, to say like somebody works that they know works at the liquor store. I'm assuming let the liquor store get robbed.
Yeah.
Because the community's kind of all working together against these people, who are
Yes.
the landlords and liquor store owners.
And we find out in this scene also, like I was saying before, all the tropes are all kind of on display. Leroy's the con artist, the robber, doing what he's got to do to stick it to the man and make the money however he's got to do it. You got Ruby, who's the prostitute. Found that out. If there's a quick throwaway line where Leroy says, oh, who are you? You out there turning tricks to help pay for rent. And, obviously what they're trying to communicate very quickly in this scene is things are bad. We're all turning to crime. There's no prosperity or no opportunity here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's to show all this pressure on this, on the fool, on him. Now it's like you got to you got to step up and do what you
And
got to
the
do for
mom's
your
sick,
family.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. His mom's sick and dying of. Did they say cancer? And it's like
Well, he
Yes.
says your mom's got a cancer in her.
yeah, and it's something. I'm assuming it's like a tumor or something that could easily be taken out. It's
If
simple,
they had the money.
If they had the money, right? It's a simple surgery, but they just don't have the money for even that, and they already missed rent.
Yeah.
now they
So
have to pay triple.
what Leroy's basically saying, man, is if there's no opportunities here, we need to make opportunities, and this is it, man. You want to save your mom? We got to do this.
And he says you don't want to be out in the street eating beans.
Yeah.
And then this
Right.
is another part in the movie where he becomes the boy of the house.
I'm the boy of the
He's
house.
like, you become the man now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
the boy of the house. Then it cuts to, I believe, Alice, who's eating dinner. Or, no, she's brought dinner.
Yeah.
You find out that Alice is... Because I think this is the first shot of Alice, and she's mommy and daddy's daughter.
At this
seemingly.
point, yes.
Yeah, seemingly. And mommy brings her dinner and then makes her try on a dress.
No, the dinner was already there.
She was eating the dinner. That's
yeah,
right.
And then
Because
she's like, "Do you lick this plate or something?"
yeah, she licked the plate.
Lick my
She's like,
plate.
no.
But what's funny is Alice is supposed to be like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It says, but I think at the time of filming she was over 18, and she does not look anywhere near 12.
Yeah, but a lot of people in the whole like actors who are actually their age.
No,
It's
but I'm
kind
saying-
of like a newer thing.
I know, but I'm saying it's so noticeable that.
I don't think she looks over 18 though in it.
But I'm saying she doesn't look 12. What
Right.
does she look closer to, 12 or 18?
I'd say she's in the 14, 15
But
range,
Fool's
more
supposed
likely.
to Fool's supposed to be how old? 11?
I don't know. Also,
Yeah, but he's played by like a
13?
27-year-old.
Fool?
No, Fool. I'm not sorry, Fool. I was thinking of Roach.
yeah,
Roach, no.
Roach.
Roach
is,
is played by 27. But
Yeah.
how old is he who plays Fool? How old is he?
he's
but-
probably his
but-
teenager.
Yeah, it's the same.
Maybe
like,
we're looking too much into it. But
Yeah.
another thing I didn't note, I didn't mention in the beginning and throughout the film a lot, when Fool is talking, a lot of times it doesn't look like his lips are moving.
I think a lot of this was dubbed over.
Yeah, and his parts he had to redo because he would like keep his mouth closed and be like kind of like mumbling.
Right.
So I don't know if he had something wrong with his mouth or
Could have been a
anything.
shy kid on the set.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like a lot of it, I'm like it doesn't sound like he's talking.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot in this movie. It looks like
But
it was
it's only him I
overdubbing.
can feel. I didn't feel about the other actors.
I don't know. I can't remember specific examples. I did notice him a lot, but I think there are other actors.
But in
this.
the beginning, it's real bad.
Yeah. So mommy's like, "Did you lick the plate?" And then she's like, "What? No." And then she makes Alice try on a dress that she just finished sewing, and then she's like, "Where's the fork?"
Because she's
And Alice is
walking
like,
out of the room and she's like, "Wait, I gave you a fork."
Alice is like, "The fork," and she's like, "Yeah, where's the fork? You weren't feeding that guy in the wall again, were you?" And Alice is like, "No, I just dropped it." And then she like bends over, and a hand reaches out, like pale, weird looking hand pops out of a vent, hands her the fork.
With some nasty ass some nails.
Yeah, and she gives the fork back to mommy.
And then the dad comes in and is going to teach her a lesson, basically. That's what the mom says. You need to teach her some manners or something for losing the fork. Mm-hmm. And he's ready to beat her ass.
But she reminds her, don't bruise her face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't bruise the face.
Which I guess in hindsight doesn't really matter because Alice has never left the house.
Yeah.
So what does it matter whether her face is bruised or not?
I don't know. There's this obsession with her as being the perfect godly child. Like,
Right.
So maybe it's just to keep her face pristine, like images, appearances for them. I don't know. They weird. They hella weird.
And then after this whole scene, then we get to I believe they're in the car, right? Spencer, Leroy, and Fool.
Yeah, casing out the joint.
They're casing out the joint, and they make him try to go up to the house and pretend he's selling cookies or candy bars or something. And so Fool knocks up on the door. Like someone looks through the window but closes it, like the blinds or shades, whatever it is. So then he goes into the water, like they have a little pond outside, and he throws like a rock in there. And the lady's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, we're wondering if you want to buy some cookies." Then she's like, "No, we're good. We're watching what we eat." She's like, "Oh, can I use your bathroom?" She's like, "No."
They just leave us out here all day, nowhere to piss.
Yeah, no. And this is another scene where he's like talking. It doesn't match up.
Right. And she's like, no, and she kind of just closes the door on him.
Yeah.
Which forces him to walk away. So his job was to case the place, to go inside, look around, see what kind of like protection they have in terms of cameras, alarms, anything like that. And he doesn't get a chance.
Yeah, what he does notice though is when he's looking at it, is he notices metal grates on the windows outside, but he noticed the padlocks are on the outside.
Yeah, padlocks.
Obviously inferring right away, I don't understand. Like they even mention it when he goes back to the van and he's debriefing Spencer and Leroy, and they even like talk about like, ooh, what are these people doing? Padlocks on the outside. It's like that doesn't ring alarm bells. They're trying to keep something in,
not out.
not out.
Right.
But they just go past it, and then it's good old Spencer who comes up with the plan to dress up as a gas meter inspector, and he goes in for his attempt, cases through the yard a little bit, and tries to talk his way into the house, eventually succeeding. He gets invited in, very spooky entrance, and as he's going in, Mommy's looking back and forth, checking it out, closes the door, and I mean, at this point, horror movie 101, you know he's doomed.
Yeah.
It's a guarantee.
Yeah. Cuts back to Fool and Leroy in the truck, and they see Mommy's car pull out of the driveway. And Leroy thinks that's kind of weird that they just left Spencer in the house if she wouldn't even let Fool in.
Yeah. So they think maybe there's a kid in there, an old person, they say.
Yeah, so somebody else, but someone they could take advantage of and still do their job. So they pull into the driveway, and Leroy decides to break in to figure everything out. They break into the house, and they don't hear anybody.
But the way they break in is so like loud. Like, I don't know, it was just so loud when he hits the glass, and like there's people in this neighborhood going to hear it.
Yeah, and at one point when
I've never broken into anyone's house, so I don't know.
So when they break into the house, the dog attacks, which is a Rottweiler, and it attacks them. That's loud as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But then when they trick the dog, dude, I love when. Well, hold on. So before we get past that, I love when the dog's like attacking, and Fool is like, "Hey, furball."
Oh, I thought you said fuck boy.
No, he says,
I
"Hey,
was like,
furball."
I died laughing. I'm like,
No,
oh my
no.
God, he said fuck boy.
I
Fuck
would.
boy.
No, he says, "Hey, furball, your mother sleeps with cats."
Yeah. I
Your
thought he
mother
said-
sleeps with cats.
And that's another scene. He doesn't look like he's saying it, but I thought he said, "Hey, fuck boy," and like I guess it's just a term used nowadays. That's what like came out.
Yeah.
Like to think about that.
That's
But
what
then,
your brain went
so
to.
as they're moving further into the house, Leroy's like yelling out for Spencer, like, "Spencer, are you up there? Yo, Spencer, bro, if." He like is trying to like act quiet and be like, "Yo, we're down here just so you know." Yeah, no shit, dude. You were just fighting with the fucking dog. The whole neighborhood heard.
What's funny about that is, and they don't look like they're nervous that they broke into someone's house until they get to the stairs, like, and how loud they are. Like they look so calm and like, all right, whatever, no big deal. We just did
Yeah,
this.
and that's what I'm saying. Like they're still trying to be quiet at this point and be like, "Yo, Spencer, we're down here." Like, yeah,
You just broke
everybody
in,
heard you.
You literally broke the glass, beat the dog's ass, locked the dog
Yeah.
out.
Broke open a couple doors with a crowbar.
Yeah.
But this is where Leroy goes up to the second floor, and Fool decides to go to the basement.
Well, he tells him like, I don't want to go up there, and he's like, well, you can stay down here.
Yeah, but Fool goes to the basement and then pulls out a lighter. Where the fuck did this little kid get a lighter from?
No, what are you talking about?
When Fool goes into the basement, he has a lighter. That's how he's able to see.
I thought he picked up the lighter on the ground because the clipboard was on the
Did he?
ground.
Oh, maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, but he opens.
I
The
thought he
door
pulled it out
and
of his
he's-
pocket. My bad.
Yeah, when he opens the door, he sees the clipboard.
Yeah,
and
and
the
the
lighter.
lighter. Oh, I thought he pulled it out of his pocket.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's walking around with the lighter like lit, Have you ever like lit a lighter for more than like
I don't
10
even,
seconds?
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know how to use a lighter. Like
Oh.
unless it's like one of those
And
long
you know what
neck
I-
ones. Don't know how to use a
So
lighter.
you know what I was thinking? And this is dumb because there's an inconsistency in the shots. In the scene where he's holding the lighter, in the one scene, the close up, he's got a Band-Aid on his finger, like right on the tip of his finger. And then like in the next shot, holding the lighter, he's got no Band-Aid on. So I'm thinking to myself, like I actually thought for a second, I was like, I wonder if he burned his finger trying to
He
do this
had to
scene.
have.
Because one thing, the regular Bic lighter is a different thing. When you have a Zippo or a flip lighter, like when
Well, that was a
Yeah.
Bic.
but like you hold that long enough, you're gonna burn yourself.
Dude, even with a Bic,
Yeah.
the top of it is metal, and when you, even though it's like an aluminum or some shitty like metal, if you hold it long enough, it gets hot and it
Yeah.
does burn your finger. And he's holding this for minutes. That would get hot and burn his finger.
Yeah, man.
And I thought that the whole time watching it. Too old, man. You didn't notice things. Try not to burn myself out.
Well, I don't
here.
know. I've never used a lighter.
Oh,
like
well, I
that.
used to be like a pyrotechnic over here. My own self-made.
No,
Perfect.
I only used the one with the
Yeah.
the grill lighters, whatever they're
Yeah.
called.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to fuck with those a lot though.
Yeah, not me.
yeah. We had a great childhood.
Yeah. I lit Joe Transu's pool on fire once.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Shout out Joe.
That's
I don't know if you're alive or dead, but
he's alive.
He's alive.
Yeah.
He's
So he fool has the lighter, he's walking through the basement, and then he finds a TV that's on, but it's like facing a wall, kind of sort of. And he turns it to see what's on it. It's a shitty like picture on the TV. And then
Baghdad or something. It says right. No, dead ass. Doesn't say
Yeah,
something about like
yeah.
Iraq bomb.
I
Yes.
mean, that's
Yeah,
around the
yeah,
time
yeah.
of the first Iraq War, so it makes
yes,
sense.
it was. And then he gets scared by Roach, who's in the wall. As he's like running, because the Roach doesn't pop out at this point, right? No,
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, so as he's like, he finds Spencer pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at
he's
this
like
part.
white as a
yeah.
ghost.
Yeah, Spencer's dead on the floor, so he's technically the first kill, but it was an off-camera kill.
Off screen, yeah.
Yeah,
But I think doesn't he run up the stairs because he hears something, and then he hits a tripwire, then he falls back down.
is that what I was wondering? That I did he hit a
He hit
tripwire?
a tripwire, then fell back down.
Oh.
and then he finds Spencer.
But it wasn't the tripwire set off the stairs thing, right? Because the stairs turn into the ramp.
Yeah.
That's the first instance where the stairs to the basement turn into like a ramp, like
Yeah.
fold in, turn
Yeah.
into a ramp to make people slide down. I didn't know what did that. I thought somebody hit a button somewhere, but I'm like, nobody's home to do that. I did, so I was confused by that.
I thought it was Roach that did it.
yeah, because I didn't.
I
know
thought
if there's-
Roach pulled the string or something
Yeah,
and did it to trap him down there because it's right after he finds Spencer that like these weird sounds are coming from the other side of the wall and Spencer's body starts getting dragged under.
Yeah.
And Fool tries to like pull him out and say, "Oh, don't you ain't taking him." And he pulls him out. He sees his hands all gnawed on and chewed up,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh hell no!" He
And
tries
that's
to
what
get
he
up. He tries to get up those stairs, comes
Yeah.
back down, and
And
that's when
it turns into a ramp, right?
yeah, and that's when it slides him back down, and then that's when Roach jumps out on him.
That's honestly what I thought too. But
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't know if it was Roach doing it. I don't know if
It couldn't have-
if he tripped something.
Yeah,
But that scene was a little weird for me because I was
Yeah.
watching it. It's supposed to be poorly lit
yeah,
because of the nature of the basement and everything.
Right.
But there's a lot of stuff going on, and then like you just kind of see the Fool jumping on him a little bit. But our boy Fool gets out of that. He gets upstairs and he knows right away, I got to get Leroy and get the hell out of here.
yeah. Well, he has to get Leroy because mommy and daddy come home and they're
Oh, yeah.
outside. So he's kind of like, "Fuck, we have to get out now." So
What's weird is originally when they see the mom driving away, I never saw the dad in the car.
yeah,
I think she was going to pick him up or something.
that
That
could
makes sense,
yeah,
yeah.
that could be it too. Because I thought that too. Like you only see one person in the car.
I thought the dad was in the house the whole time.
That's
that
what
showed- I was waiting for him to jump scare me. Like
Yeah,
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, when the ramp happened, I was
That was a good time so this is I missed when he goes up the stairs because he hears a noise, and then he says to himself, "Don't be a chicken shit."
yeah.
That would have been a perfect time for him to turn around and someone be standing there, or something like that for like
Yeah.
a jump scare.
Yeah. So, but for a horror movie, honestly, it's not scary. There's horror elements to this movie,
No,
but it's not a scary movie. But I also don't know if that's because movies couldn't be too scary at that time. because of MPAA and
Yeah, I mean, when I come back to the end, I'm gonna describe this, and I keep using this phrase in my head to describe this film. This is the horror Home Alone. That's kind of how I keep looking at it in my head. It's not intentionally overtly scary. There are some moments of suspense for sure, but I don't know if it was trying. It's not achieving that tier of like horror.
Yeah.
But regardless, so far the film is interesting.
yeah.
And now we have a situation here where Fool is running upstairs. He's trying to get Leroy, and Leroy's like, "What's going on?" Lets him know that that they're here.
Well,
Yeah.
Alice opens the door for him, right? That's how he gets out of the basement.
Yes, and Alice is looking at him from the top of the stairs, and then like bolts and disappears.
Yeah.
So
And when he does get Leroy, he thinks Leroy's dead because Leroy's just like laying in the fucking
Yeah,
hallway.
he lays in the ground like that.
Well,
And I
he
like
looked like
how-
he was looking in that vent.
And then I like how when Leroy says, "Just because someone's laying on the ground don't mean they're dead." I'm
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Is this your first robbery, Leroy?
Yeah.
This might be your first robbery."
Because I think when Fool goes upstairs to get Leroy, he even says like Leroy, and he doesn't answer him. So that's when he goes up and like
yeah, that's
texts
what I'm
him.
saying. Like in that situation, who would lay on the ground like that?
Maybe
like,
he thinks he's Drax.
I
You
don't
don't.
know. I don't
If
know
you don't move, if you don't move, ain't nobody gonna see him.
Yeah.
What is a Drax?
Oh my God! Here,
Here
we
we
go.
go.
No, I'm dead serious. What is that?
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, never
That's
seen it.
Dave Bautista.
That's my guy though.
Yeah,
Shout
he's
out to
funny.
Batista.
Yeah. Okay, we're shouting everybody out this episode, I guess.
anyone, it's cool.
So then they go downstairs to try to like leave, and they go to grab the doorknob to the front door.
Well, Fool grabs it, not
Well,
they.
well, yeah, Fool, because they try to go out the front door because Mommy and Daddy are going to come through the back door because of the way the driveway's set up, and the door is electrified. The doorknob
Yeah,
electrocutes
electrocutes, Fool.
and he falls on the ground, almost like he's unconscious.
So then the back door, the mom and dad are there, and they like break open the corner of the door so the dog can get in.
Right, because the door is still jammed shut because they were keeping the dog
Yeah,
out.
and then Leroy tells Fool, stand here. I'm gonna hit him."
Yeah, he's
He,
like,
gets behind the couch.
yeah, gets behind the couch so the dog doesn't see him. So if the dog attacks Fool, he can hit the dog.
Yeah. But when the dog runs in, the dog just stands there, and Fool's like, "Oh shit!" So Leroy gets up, and then the dog jumps at Leroy, and and then Fool looks at the door, and then looks back at that like Leroy getting fucked up by the dog, and he's like, "Come on, let's go!" And then he grabs onto Leroy, and they grab the doorknob and electrocute the dog.
Yes.
I actually found that scene very comical. That was
Yeah.
a very Home Alone moment. You see what I'm saying? Like using traps and gizmos
Yeah,
to
what I really liked is the dog's acting there. Because
Slumps.
the dog, it does have its head up and then it just goes back to like laying its head down and it's just laying on the floor.
Yeah, that,
It was a good trained dog.
That dog is the MVP of this film.
Yeah.
Does a really good job. What was the dog's name? I think the dog's name's Prince, right? Prince?
Yes,
That's the
Prince.
dog's name?
Is the dog's name? Yes.
Shout out to Prince.
Shouting everybody out. And then Daddy eventually gets in and grabs his gun. And this is when he locks down the house.
Yeah, he hits the switch and it puts like the house in lockdown mode.
So like shutters go over the windows, the
doors
doors
lock
lock,
and shut.
and the lights go out too.
Yeah.
And
Is this when he gets in the his suit, or no? He just has the gun. The dad.
I don't know because it's dark.
I can't remember if he's in that the fucking bondage suit.
I don't know if he's in it yet
Yo,
because I know he has night vision on because or he's using the laser.
he has a red dot
No,
sight.
he has a red. He doesn't have night vision.
He has a red dot sight.
This isn't Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But yeah, this is what I love because when he shows up on this scene, Leroy spots him coming up with the gun, like sees him getting the gun, and they go upstairs, and Leroy's like, he tells me, he's like, "You ever see something like that blow a hole in you?" Like right away, he's trying to run, and he goes to hide in that closet, and Fool tries to go hide with him, and Leroy's like, "Oh, not enough
Yeah.
room. See ya."
Leroy's like, not enough room in this closet. Go find your own hiding spot. Kind of like, fuck you, kid. You're off on your own.
And you know what? So Fool goes and hides around the corner.
Yes.
And that's when Daddy comes up with the gun, and he's starting to do his little room-to-room check with the flashlight. He had the flashlight and the red dot sight. And this whole time, you think it's going to be Fool that's going to get caught. And as Leroy's in the closet, I think it's Roach. Is it Roach?
Yeah, Roach pops out of the wall.
Like behind him.
Yes.
And scares the crap out of him, and he
Yes.
runs out right in front of
Yeah.
Daddy.
Like I think Roach was trying to help.
Yeah, probably tell him like, come through here.
Yeah, but then Leroy gets scared because there's fucking arms popping out of a wall.
Yeah.
So he gets scared, runs out of the closet, and that's where Daddy shoots him.
Yeah, but right before he shoots him, Leroy says, "Run, fool,
Yeah.
run!" And he shoots him, and that's why after Daddy shoots him, Daddy goes downstairs to Mommy and starts celebrating, and he's like, he's the fool, he's thinking that like Leroy was
Leroy's
calling him a fool.
Yeah.
So I was cracking up at that. I said, "This movie's off the rails, man. Here
Yeah,
we go."
it is,
and it
definitely
just keeps going off
It
the rails.
is definitely comedic, and Leroy is our second death of the movie.
R.I.P. Leroy.
But after that happens, doesn't Fool go through the vent or something like that?
Yes.
But this brings me to the point of, if they have the vents in the house, why aren't those getting locked down too? If they know that those dudes are in the wall, like
Well,
they
only
knew Roach is in
roaches,
the wall,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
why wouldn't they have it where those are like locked up too?
I don't know. Maybe it's not part of the system that already exists. It seems like whatever Roach is doing, it's not like he's been there all that long, like going in and out of the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
So
like-
I don't think it's something that was pre-put into like their lockdown shit. I don't think they ever thought of somebody going in there, and then Roach just kind of figured that shit out.
You know what's hard for me for this film, and it's something that I guess I didn't notice it until I started watching this film.
Yep.
Movies like Hellraiser, Halloween, you kind of like get a feel for the house that you're in, the space that you're working with. Like Hellraiser, you kind of knew where all the floors are, all the rooms were. Halloween,
I don't even think that movie knew what was on what floor, what was going on.
but like in Halloween, you kind of like know, you kind of have a spatial awareness of
Yes.
that. Whenever we're upstairs in this house, I have no idea how big this house is or where what's going what. It's very downstairs is pretty easy. You start to figure out. You have the back area, the kitchen, back exit, front door, living room. So when they're downstairs, I kind of have a feel for where each character is and how things are moving.
Right.
But upstairs, there are some rooms like that bathroom that we're getting to.
Right.
Looks like it hasn't been used in 100 years. It's
Well-
run down. But it doesn't, and that part of the house looks like it's falling apart.
Yeah.
I guess it's an older house.
Right, but then like other parts of the house look like it's well kept.
Yeah, like
It's for show.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The downstairs,
It's for show, for
Yeah.
company.
right? Well, it's not like they have company, but when people come in,
Right. So, but I just wanted to say, like, I know it sounds weird, but sometimes you take for granted that it's some movies make the house, like the scenery accessible, or the location settings
Yeah.
accessible. That's one of those movies, and I'm not saying it took anything from the film, did not at all. But it's just an observation I had.
yeah,
So yeah, we're now upstairs, and this is where Fool is going to formally run into Alice.
right. He comes back out of the vents and runs to the door of the bathroom, which is open, and he sees Alice standing in the bathroom.
This is honestly one of my favorite scenes when she's like looking at him. He's like, "You never met a brother before?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"She's like, I never had a brother." She's like, "No, not a brother, like a black person."
Yeah.
You never seen one?
Because she is visually scared by the fact that he's black, because she hasn't seen a black guy yet.
Yeah.
And
Man,
she starts telling the story of how she has had siblings, or she's not brothers, I guess, but there's boys
There's
in the
been
house.
others, yeah.
Yeah, and how they've been bad, and they either they've either seen evil, said evil, or heard evil, and that they cut their parts out.
This is one scene where she's like, when she starts talking about it, she's like crying.
Right.
And then the next scene, she's not crying. Like the next time they show her, like it never looked like she cried or nothing wet in her face.
Maybe she was acting.
Well, I'm saying there's a lot of scenes like this throughout the movie, like where it changes so quick.
like random
Yeah.
inconsistencies.
Yeah.
With cuts.
yeah, with cuts.
Yeah.
It's like real. Like once you start like looking at it like that, there's a lot you
Right.
can find throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. So this is where, because Daddy thought that he got the only person that broke in, Leroy, because they didn't know that.
Oh, this is when the dad
Yeah,
dresses up.
so
This
he's-
is when he dresses up.
He starts saying how he's going to go hunting for Roach, and comes out of like the closet with the fucking leather like bondage
it's
suit
wild.
on.
Straight gimp outfit
I
on.
love
Yeah.
it.
It's like leather and studs all over him.
Yeah.
And,
And
he
we're
just
not
starts,
and we're not just talking about like his torso. Is like, we're literally like
Head to toe.
full bodysuit of leather.
Yeah, and he starts fucking just shooting holes in the ceiling and walls wherever he hears Roach, who's running between the walls. So, have you ever worked in an old house ever?
Yeah,
Like
growing,
a house like this?
No.
like turn of the century house and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, when I was growing up working with Dad and contracting and
Yeah,
stuff, like
where there's like plaster walls and shit.
Shout out, Dad.
Yeah, shout out Rob's dad.
shout out Papa B.
Yeah. So walls don't have huge gaps like that. Now in houses where there are plaster walls, there is bigger gaps inside the walls, I would say, sometimes, especially in the ceiling, but they don't look like this.
No.
There's not like a wall, a foot or two, and then another wall. You'd be losing so much space.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
This had to have been built on a set because that's not realistic. Because if you lay out a house, you'd be, especially back in the day when
Building materials were scarce and expensive.
that, and they didn't have really rhyme or reason anyway for how they built houses. Nowadays, like you always like line up your plumbing, like first floor and second floor. This way it's less plumbing you have to put into the house. And the way you like, it's all designed by an architect or not an architect.
Yeah, an
Yeah,
architect and an engineer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like ahead of time.
Oh, shit.
A what?
And I forgot there's supposed to be an engineer to come to my job today, and we totally forgot about him, so I don't know if he came or not.
Yeah. So like back when there was no rhyme or reason for like how they designed a house though, you'd be losing so much, and I don't think they ever wanted to afford to lose that much. Because nowadays you don't either. You wouldn't put feet between fucking walls.
But then
Makes
again,
no
this
sense.
is that suspension of disbelief, kind
Yes.
of whimsical nature of it. I mean,
Yes.
this house is like I said, how big is this house for real?
Right.
How the hell is this thing wired
Well,
to have?
from the outside, it looks nuts, like huge.
Yes.
When I saw this movie as a kid, I thought like houses were made like
Made
that.
like
Like
that?
when I was living in Newark as a kid, I thought our house was like that.
Yeah.
Like there's these huge gap between walls.
Yeah. And I think honestly that caused a lot of people to think that way, I think.
A lot of
Because
calls.
of
A
this
lot of
movie?
calls to the
Yes,
fire
I'm dead
department.
serious.
A lot of calls to the fire department to be saving kids out there thinking they can get between the walls.
Well, it's not like, I mean, I don't know. It's not like there's anywhere for you to go. But so yeah, he starts shooting holes in the wall looking for fucking Roach. And that's when the police come.
No, well then Alice tells Fool like, you got to get in the wall, like because he was coming.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, then it cuts to the mom, and she feeds the hand to the dog.
Spencer's hand.
Yeah, Spencer's hand,
Spencer Sand, yes.
And
Still has
what-
the ring on it.
which is skinned, but it rings on it. It looks like the hand was skinned.
I think it's just supposed to look bloody and like partly chewed
it
from the
looked
dog.
like Jello.
Yeah, I know. I think it's supposed to be like just special effects and partly chewed from the dog. I don't think it's supposed to be skinned. Okay, so the police come and mommy and daddy go outside. What?
But why did who calls the police? Did they ever say that or no?
No, I think just the van.
I think they spotted the van and they were like,
Yeah, they said it's
been used in some robberies.
Right.
One especially with a liquor store.
Yes.
And I'm like,
and
Leroy.
right, and that's when daddy also says like liquor store because that's their liquor store that they own.
Right, and that's when mommy starts to investigate the van a little bit, and she finds the pseudo Boy Scout costume that Fool was
Cosplay.
wearing. Cosplay.
Yeah.
When that Fool was wearing when he was trying to get into the house, and they realize there's a third.
Right. So with the gas guy and Leroy is Fool, who was dressed up as Boy Scout.
Yeah.
So there's a third party
Bear Scout.
who's not
Copyright
clearly-
infringement.
Yeah. Who's clearly not in the van, so he definitely in the house somewhere.
Yeah. Fool's in trouble, man.
Yeah. So then the mom tells him like go find him. So then like cuts to him running like he's upstairs already like and knows he's in that bathroom like it's crazy.
Well, what they say is like he got to Alice, so they think that he's with Alice.
Yeah.
You know what we didn't highlight though is that several times, even when Leroy was still alive, God bless you, Leroy, rest in peace. He tried to break through the windows, and they figured out that all these windows in this house are like made of bulletproof, super reinforced glass, like
Right.
from Krypton,
Yeah.
that nobody can break.
Right.
I bet he could break those with a crowbar. He's a big dude.
Didn't he hit it with the crowbar?
He did. He kept hitting
No,
it.
but I'm saying like realistically.
in real life.
I think Ving Rhames could blow on it and break that glass.
I mean, he's a powerful guy.
Yeah. He's a big tough guy.
But
Shout out to Ving Rhames.
And this scene, and then so I guess he knows he's in the bathroom, so the dad's breaking through the bathroom door, and Fool smashes him with the toilet tank cover.
Yep.
Let's welcome CTE.
Oh yeah, that was now. Yeah. You're right. That's the first thing I thought of too.
I'm like, dude, this guy's dead.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna get CTE.
I don't know if you know how heavy a toilet tank cover is.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I
That would kill you.
I've seen Saw.
Especially because that's an old toilet, too, when they were real heavy-duty
We
ceramic.
have some old ones at my job. Those things are heavy.
What's his name? Zeke? What's his name? From Saw? He gets beat to death with one.
Well, way to ruin Saw. Don't got to see Saw now. Thanks, Kyle.
Spoiled. It was a 6 out of 10.
But anyways,
Okay.
so he smashes
Don't
him
do
with
that
that, and then Roach pulls
Yeah, Fool into the wall.
into the he opens up the medicine cabinet, I guess.
Yes.
And pulls him in.
Yeah.
Yo, can we talk about how silly that was? That was just like, it was
How he grabbed him and pulled them in.
It was like, it reminded me of like the Muppet Show back in the day when like Walt and Muppets would just come out of the wall and
Yeah.
suck you back in. Or like an Evil Dead moment, like the way the puppeteers would like puppets in those movies and stuff would just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good.
What I loved about it is how then he closes like the cabinet that's like in half, right? He like closes up the wall. And then when Daddy goes to open up
It's
the
just
cabinet,
a regular cabinet.
yeah, there's a regular fucking wall behind the cabinet. He's like looking at it like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So then he starts shooting the cabinet.
Yeah, starts shooting.
And then finally gets through, and he's like looking in there, and then Roach shoots a rock at his head, and he falls over harder than he fell when he got hit with the fucking toilet tank.
Well, he's a
cover.
little
Yeah.
concussed.
Like I was like, this guy's got CT. It's over.
Yeah, it's very silly. Yeah.
Yeah, like literally smashed. I don't care how old that kid is that hit him with it. He literally got hit with a pebble and like fell over like he flopped like LeBron James. That was it.
I like how Fool, when he's running through the wall stuff, he's obviously taunting Daddy, and you just hear him, just like yelling.
From Roach.
Not Fool, no, sorry, from Roach.
Roach,
I'm
yeah.
like crying, laughing.
Yeah.
Because like after he closes that,
Yeah.
and he shoots and he hits him with the rock, you just hear him.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
yeah,
my god.
Roach is always just running around through the walls and
just
like
laughing.
making loud noises.
But so then I think this is the part where he like tries to write like Alice on the wall or something like that. Roach, like I think.
No,
they're, like,
that's later on. That's later on in the furnace.
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens is Daddy's like, okay, since I can't go in there, I'm gonna send Prince. So he puts Prince in the wall. That's what happens here.
Yeah. So.
But then they get to Alice though, right?
Not yet.
No. Does Prince happen then, or does Prince?
He happens a lot of times, so it could have been now.
Yeah, I thought Prince happened after they discovered the Fool. The Fool. I gotta stop saying that. Fool in Alice's room.
No. So they put what happens at this part. They put Prince in the wall, and Prince is chasing them around, and Roach kind of is like, wait for a second.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
They kind of taunt Prince. So when Prince starts running towards him, he throws the doll at him, the doll that Alice makes,
And stops him in
and
his tracks.
Yeah. Prince picks it up, and he's on a trap door, and they trigger the trap door, and he falls down onto like a slide chute and slides out into,
Into
the
the
kitchen.
kitchen cabinets.
Yeah, where it comes out through the kitchen cabinets into the kitchen where Mommy and Daddy are, and they're kind of like, what the fuck?
And Roach is sitting there like on the like this dog is a great Prince.
Yeah.
This dog is a great actor.
I thought he was like very well trained, because have you ever had a dog that was on something and you try pulling it right away? They're like, no, and they jump off.
Yeah,
they
my
don't
chef.
they don't like sliding shit at all.
I literally, so Harley, my dog, last time it snowed, like we went outside and I was like pulling stuff on our sled back across the yard.
Yeah.
And Harley got on the sled.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as I went to pull it, I have never seen this 120-pound dog jump into the air and scramble like the whole world just got ripped out from under his feet.
Yeah.
So, and Harley, I mean, Harley's a good trained dog.
Yeah.
This dog is the MVP.
Prince was on a slide.
Prince
and
was on a
just flew
slide.
in.
He's the MVP.
Yeah.
Most valuable.
And
Most
this
valuable
is
pup.
where
Most valuable pup.
Fool and Roach go to Alice's room, and you learn that Roach, Alice kind of says like, "Hey, this is Roach," to Fool, and this is where you learn that Roach's tongue was cut out because he said evil things, I guess.
Just the tip, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the special effects look stupid, but it gets the point across.
Yeah.
And he still has a lot of tongue left. I think he could probably make some kind of noise.
Yeah, I
besides
don't
just-
know. But then after they show the tongue, he kind of says like he mouthed something like it sounds normal. And I can't remember what it
Yeah,
was.
there's
Yeah, no,
another
because
thing.
he says
He
he's
sound-
like they said, oh, like who? It says who's your name, and they say like they tell him like, oh, I'm Fool, and like
Fool?
he's like Fool, and you're like,
Yes.
you can talk.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But then they go back to, well, no, mommy and daddy like come into the room and kind of catch everyone in there.
Yeah, Daddy comes through that door with that shotgun ready to go.
But also, this is what I didn't understand. So they talk about how like Roach got his tongue cut out.
Yes.
How the fuck did Alice sew that doll of Leroy?
that
in that
fast.
scene?
I thought that,
fast.
and Spencer.
Yeah,
There was a
like-
doll of Spencer. That's the one that they throw to
Yeah,
Prince.
but I'm saying that then when she hands it to
Of Leroy already. Unless she has pre-made dolls and she just puts clothes on them real
yeah,
quick.
like that fast, like a black dude that she's never knew what a black dude was before.
Yeah.
Had the hat and everything.
Where'd she get those fabric from?
Well, I'm not really sure. I thought that too.
Like
But-
she did it like that.
Yes.
But anyways,
whimsical folks, whimsical.
so then after that, the mom and the dad run in, and she's like, "It's total
Little
spring cleaning."
Yeah, I love that line.
I'm like,
Yeah, it's so
literally, the
corny.
house is disgusting.
Yeah. But I don't think they meant like actual cleaning.
No, I
They meant,
understand
like,
that,
Cleaning
but
out of all
they're
the
gonna like,
bad people,
yeah,
quote unquote bad people. But they catch Fool. He actually catches Fool at this part, right? Daddy? Or does Fool get away again
No, Fool gets away
with Roach?
with Roach, but Daddy fires a shotgun into the vent that they're going through, and
Yes.
it's implied that Roach got hit.
Right.
And then this is where they
Go to the basement?
go to the basement,
Right.
and Fool is trying to figure out how to get out, trying to figure out what to do here. And I think this is where Roach and him hide in the furnace.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No.
no, because this is after that they grab Fool after the total.
Yeah, that's
spring-
what I was going to say.
they grab
Yeah,
Fool and make the daddy and Fool drag Leroy's body
Right.
to like the basement stairs,
And they make Alice clean up the blood from Leroy.
yeah, but well,
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
no,
right.
from-
So Fool didn't get
Wait.
away. Roach got away into the vent and
Yeah.
got shot, and then Fool was dragged down to the basement with Leroy's body. And this
So who bled at the bottom of the stairs then?
that was
Leroy,
Leroy when they
'cause he
dragged
rolled
him,
down the
so
s-
they drag him down the stairs. But then again, she's in the bathtub. She like gets her in the bathtub too. The mom gets
Right,
but
but after she cleans up the blood, but the blood's at the bottom of the stairs. Who the fuck bled that much at the bottom of the stairs?
Leroy,
Leroy, he got shot and
And
rolled
then
down to
they
the bottom of the
drag him.
stairs.
Oh, he rolled down the stairs?
Yeah.
no, remember they drag him.
I remember they drag him, yeah, to
so
the
then after
basement
that,
stairs.
and then they throw him down the basement.
Yes.
And that's where they chain up
But what's
Fool.
funny,
yes.
What's funny about this though is like when Leroy's like sliding down the ramp, you see him like tilt his head up. Like I rewinded this maybe like 20 times. He like
Yeah.
picks his head up so it doesn't hit like the ground.
Yeah.
So you see him like tilt up.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be dead,
Dead.
I'm still here, guys.
but he
Help.
moves the head so it doesn't get hit.
Right.
Yeah, so they chain up Fool in the basement, and this is
Yes.
where this is what I was talking about before when I said I didn't know if he was cooking his food,
Yes.
because Daddy is going full on Hannibal Lecter, and is carving up Leroy. He's got him hanging like a buck from the ceiling, like a carcass, which he
Right.
is, and he's carving up his insides.
Yeah. And he's not only eating some of it as he's cutting it up raw, but he's also feeding it to the quote unquote children, or who he calls the people under the stairs.
Yeah.
Title drop.
And these people, are they the ones that supposedly had stuff cut out of them?
Why is everyone so white? What are they putting on them?
They
Why-
haven't seen sun in a long time.
Why, yeah,
But Spencer was like white too, though.
but not just like white.
That I
like-
don't understand.
Like not just white, but like
That's a lot of baby powder.
weirdly deformed,
Baby powder smells good though. So.
almost like demonic.
Well, have you ever seen the guy who plays that main one in person? He looks like that.
He looks like that.
And he's a stingy bitch who
Yeah,
always
he
wants
is.
money.
Yark, whatever his
Yeah.
name is, Yark.
No, seriously, that guy's like
A dick.
an asshole. Yeah,
It's all
wanted,
fine.
like,
It's fine though.
Yeah,
Shout out to Yarn.
yeah, but yeah, he's like feeding the children or the people under the stairs. He's feeding them Leroy and the parts.
So then
from
this
Leroy.
is the scene where she like throws Allison down the stairs to clean up the blood.
Yeah, she's dragging her downstairs, makes her
Yeah.
clean the blood, and then like right after that, we take her upstairs, and she is running a hot bath.
No, but at that point too, also, I don't know if you guys noticed. Try to notice everything. when she throws her, you see her wearing like knee pads or something around her legs, so it gets she doesn't like
stop her from hurting herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like cleaning the blood.
Yeah.
And then this is another instance where 1 second she's cleaning the outside and then the next second she's in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
movie's got that so much throughout it with like everything.
Yeah, inconsistencies.
So then this is when they take her upstairs to take the bath, the mom.
Yes.
So I can't believe you got blood on your new dress.
Yeah.
Bitch, what do you think's gonna happen?
And
They're literally in the middle of blood. What do you
Yeah, you pushed her into it. But I think that's the point. Like, none of this is Alice's fault, but she's being punished for all of it.
Yeah.
And they have like a scalding hot bath. She forces her into it because Alice doesn't want to get in, so she forces her into it.
And this is also, I don't know if any of you know this or this. I always thought it looked weird. The steam's coming from the outside of the tub.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's clearly like a smoke machine or something.
Yeah, but
coming
I'm
from
saying I
outside.
never really noticed it until I like I had to like Google it.
Yeah, I watched it or realized that. Well, because obviously they're not running a real hot fucking bath for this girl to get
No,
in.
but I'm saying like I feel like they didn't
Yeah.
even. I guess they made the
It's 'cause-
effort.
yeah, how else would they do it? They had to use a little bit of movie magic.
Vape tricks.
Yes. Fool is then put into the room with the children. Like Daddy puts him in there to kind of be like, here we're like have Adam eat him kind of thing. Like he's their food.
Yeah, and this is our first full like introduction to the people under the stairs. We've kind of only seen them vaguely up until this point, and
Yeah.
so they look like pale zombie.
Yeah, almost like
Ghouls.
zombies.
Yeah.
Ghouls is a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very pale. You can tell they haven't seen light in a long time. And not all of them, some of them have their faces covered up too, though.
Yeah, so you wonder like were they like physically deformed heavily or something?
Yeah, and I'm
Was
assuming
the budget
these
just
are
not there.
I'm assuming these are all the people who've either had their tongues cut out, eyes ripped out, or
Ears cut off.
Yeah. And of course, Roach comes and saves
the day.
Saves Fool again. And then Roach is inside the furnace
yeah.
with Fool, and he kind of writes in ash. Is that what it is? Or on the side of the furnace?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was writing in ash or if he was writing in blood.
No, it wasn't blood.
I couldn't
It was
tell.
like white.
Well, when I was looking at the screen, I couldn't really tell what it was like that he was writing in.
And
Yeah.
this is another instance where he's writing against Alice.
And says something.
But I'm saying he writes Alice, and then when they're showing him write it, it's literally like perfect. His A is perfect, his L is perfect, and then when they show the next scene, it's like someone else wrote it.
Yeah. And he dies then, though.
Yeah, he shows him the gold coins,
Oh yeah, he
He's
shows.
like, oh,
yeah, he shows
here's
Fool
these
that,
4 gold
that,
coins.
that there are coins in there.
and then he's just like, okay,
yeah, and
Yeah,
dies.
and he's kind of like smiling too at the end there. Like Roach is like, "I done good. I can go to sleep now."
Yeah, and he
Sleep.
trusts that Fool's gonna go help Alice.
So we count this as a kill, right?
yes, he's
Yeah.
dead. So that's third
That's third kill.
death. Yes, Daddy and Alice are upstairs. No, that's not the part where she's in the attic.
no, not yet.
Not yet.
Then what happens after that?
That's when I guess Fool moves forward and is in the walls again, and then the dad sends a dog back into the wall after him, after Fool.
Not yet, because he doesn't send him back into the wall until Fool and Alice are together.
Yes. So I remember. He's in the bedroom with Alice, and he's like on top of her, like berating her, like about what she did. Like, what did you tell him? Did you tell him anything? Like trying to see if he exposed the secret.
I don't even think he said, "Did you tell him?" I think he said, "Did you do it with him?" Or
Did
something.
you? Yeah. Like it's there's
Yeah.
there's some seriously like molestation tones here. And so anyway, that's why this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Of course.
What the heck? That's okay. I'm lost. That Daddy's standing in front of the door, and he's like, I would imagine about to like lay one on Alice, and Fool runs out the vent, full stream ahead, and just punches him in the dick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Oh
Punches him
my
right in the
god!
dick.
And like punches him in the dick, and as he's falling back, he's like scrambling Alice to get into the vent, but does he hit him again with something?
No, definitely. So I know what you're talking about, but before this, the dog goes back in the vent, and then they show Alice. I'm telling you because I remember this now. Because then he punches him in the dick, and then he grabs Alice into the wall.
Right.
Right, and I think that's when they send the dog after them.
But before
Well,
that, the dog goes in.
He sets the fire in because they're in a vent. They're in an actual
Yeah, they're
like,
in
air
they're in a
vent now.
ventilation system. So he
Yeah.
he sends the dog in after them, and then he goes downstairs and he starts burning Roach, and he sets a fire in the ventilation shaft
Yes.
to try to get to smoke him out or to
Yes.
heat him out, and trying to remember.
And
how-
when he sends in Prince to go after them, that's when he starts hunting. He grabs a gun again and he starts like hunting them. I don't remember if he's in his suit or not, but he starts blowing holes in the wall again
yeah, he
because
starts
he hears Fool and Alice running through the house because there's a fire and they're coughing, they're making a lot of noise. So he starts shooting wherever he thinks he hears them.
And then Fool sneezes.
Yeah, and Fool sneezes, so he starts stabbing into the wall. And when he stabs, he hits Prince.
And then he goes downstairs and does that sick
well,
dance.
and it's not that he hits Prince necessarily. Fool is being attacked by Prince, and he pushes Prince up against the wall
Purposely, yeah.
where the knife's coming through.
Yeah,
And I love how he does a little Fortnite dance.
Are you watching the movie right now?
Yeah.
and Daddy stabs through the wall and stabs Prince.
Yeah, and then he goes downstairs and he's like, I got him, I got him, I got him. He's like dancing.
Right.
Yeah,
Even
and Mommy says, prove it.
though- yeah, because she wants to prove this time.
So then that's when he goes up there and starts ripping away the sheetrock and sees the dog.
Right.
Which the dog's head like flops through like it's gonna attack him. Then it's like, and
And-
what does Daddy? Daddy says something like he's like, oh shit, or something like he knows he's about to get slapped around by Mommy.
Well, that and it's his fucking dog, man. You know, like that's his animal.
I'm gonna be real for you.
I don't think
I
he cares
almost
about
shut the movie off.
Why? Because Prince died.
Yeah, I can't. I just
Yeah.
I have a thing. And it's the same thing with Halloween. Like Halloween wasn't too graphic about it. I mean, the dog was hanging. The dog was just kind of there.
Yeah.
But like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm so weird about animals getting killed in films, especially dogs.
Don't you watch all the Halloween movies?
Yeah, and every time I cry. So leave me
There's a
alone.
dog death in all of them. So
Yeah, except the one they cut out of Halloween 2018.
2018.
And isn't there a deleted scene with the dog?
Yes. But back to the movie. Fool and Alice go to the attic. And in the attic, Fool kind of tries to convince Alice to jump out onto the roof and then from the roof jump out to escape. Because when he looks out the attic window, he notices that's exactly where he was looking up and the pond is right below.
Yeah.
But Alice says she's like too afraid. I don't know if she says she was afraid of heights or like what the fuck she's afraid of, or just to leave the house in general. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So he jumps off the roof
Into the wall.
into the pond,
Yeah.
and then says, "I'll be back, Alice." And then that's when Alice gets caught by
Yeah.
Daddy.
And then he gets back to his house.
Yeah, and he's
And-
talking to his grandpa
Yeah.
and Ruby, and he shows him the coins, and that's where Grandpa says, you have enough to pay for your rent until 2020.
I thought you said to the year 2000.
No, he says till like 2020.
Oh, I thought you said the year 2000. And pay for the mom's surgery.
Yeah, and pay for the mom's surgery. I think it's 2020,
I thought you said the year 2000,
but it's for a while, no matter what.
Well, yeah, it's at least
and then
9 years.
Grandpa starts telling him the story about Mommy and Daddy and their family, and he tells him that they're not like a couple; they're actually brother and sister, and that they are also the landlords. I guess
Yeah, he tells
And
him
that-
there's like this whole history of the family.
yeah, and how they did like wrong shit to get where they're at and get all the money that they've.
But before,
Accumulated.
actually, we forgot about this. Before Fool they do that scene, the dad runs outside and just starts shooting his gun like crazy.
Oh yeah, Daddy shoots his gun.
And like the mom's like, don't shoot
Yeah,
outside.
she's like, "Don't shoot outside," and he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right."
You right, I'm a dumb bitch.
Yeah, and that's when Fool talks to Grandpa. Then Fool says he needs to keep his promise to Alice, even though Ruby doesn't want him to go back to the house. So he calls the cops.
They call CPS, Child Protective Services, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he says police.
Does
Yeah.
Yeah, he asks for a police officer. He just reports child endangerment or
Yeah.
Like child's abuse or something.
child abuse. Yes. So he calls the cops though, and then it shows the cops at the house, and Mommy's feeding them all cookies or something and coffee, and there's no kids at the house.
Yeah, so they're like, all right, we must have got like a false call. But what blows my mind is like they don't see all the holes in the walls.
I thought that too, but I think most of them are upstairs.
but they do go upstairs because remember, the cops like, yo, come take a look at this, and they come to Alice's room and they're like, oh, our daughter like doesn't live here, but we're too like silly to like undo her room.
Yeah.
So they definitely were upstairs.
Yeah, you're right.
Which leads me to believe,
So
is
I'm
there
not
like
really
secret
sure.
areas of this house? Because like I said, most of the house that's accessible looks real nice, and then there's like these secret maze areas that are just run down and
Yeah.
dilapidated.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's where the whole like display area of the house comes in because the cops are there and everything looks normal. But I love how the one part there's like a hole like in the wall, and Daddy like puts something in there like a gun or a like a bullet or something that he finds.
Yeah, there's like a panel that he's
Yeah,
looking
he
around.
pushes
and he
open
pushes
and
open, and it's like
There's their whole full armory in there, and like none of the cops are there to see it. Or
And this is one thing we haven't touched on yet. Once the cops leave, the dad's like, the cops can burn in hell.
Yeah,
and
they
they
keep saying-
always talk about that throughout the movie, like
burn in hell.
everyone
I
could just
love
burn in
it.
hell.
And I like how in the one scene, Daddy obviously got bludgeoned a few times, so he's wearing a hat, and like the cop's talking to him, and the cop like turns around, and he just takes the hat off, pats his head. He's got this big bandage and like bloody mark on his head, and he puts the hat back on.
Yeah.
Like these are the worst cops ever.
Yeah,
These typical 80s and 90s horror movie cops.
right. So when the cops leave and all the lights go out, there's a shot of the kitchen, and Fool climbs out of one of the top cabinets.
Yeah. And because she's like, oh, we left the back door open for too long. I wonder if anyone got in or out.
Out, yes. So then Fool apparently got in and climbs out of the cabinet because he came in when nobody was looking. He hears Mommy and Daddy talking, so he goes upstairs and does he have a gun? What did he have?
Nah, fire poker.
Fire poker.
But when
That's
he
right, 'cause
goes
he's
up
ready to beat
there,
them.
it's when they're talking, it sounds like it's on a recording. Like it's on a voice recording when they're talking about like doing their prayer or something like that.
It is.
That's because it is.
Oh, okay. Did they show that or did I?
Yeah, because he goes up and he has like the fire poker and he like goes up to the door and I forget what he says, but then there's the tape playing and then it runs out and the tape like actually runs out and starts like just on just a real.
Okay,
flipping.
I totally like
Now-
missed that part.
Yeah. So
Kyle, maybe you could clarify something for me.
What?
I've read in a couple places. I don't know if it's true. And
Yeah.
you are a big Wes Craven person.
The answer is yes.
So the variation of the Lord's Prayer, that's used in several of his works, right?
That's why I said yes.
I don't know. Is it?
Nightmare. It's done.
Well, I
in
would figure Nightmare on Elm Street.
And then
And,
Last House on the Left.
Last House on the
I
Left,
was-
and then there's one more that I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, because I know it's apparently shown up. So I was reading somewhere
The
that
Hills
it's
Have
like
Eyes.
it may be that it's been like a theme, and there's a change to the Lord's Prayer in this.
Or maybe Cursed with Christina Ricci.
The movie sucks.
Can't wait to meet her tomorrow. Love you, Christina Ricci. Okay, that movie's not that bad.
You only say that because of what's her name's in it.
Christina Ricci.
Yes.
Even though I just said her name, you know her name. You just said what's her name.
I don't remember her name. Never heard of her.
Okay.
But just so you know, there is a change to the Lord's Prayer in this.
What is it?
Instead of saying "and if I die before I wake," they say "if I kill before I wake."
Yeah.
So there's a little change there. I thought that was interesting. But,
Yeah.
well,
I mean, he probably does do that on purpose.
yeah, I wonder, but I mean, he's a great director.
Love Wes Craven.
Goat.
Wish I got to meet him, honestly.
Same. But at this part, then they like run out on him,
Yes. Surprise attack that mother trucker.
and then Fool's got the fire poker, and he's like beating them with it. It breaks.
Well,
Oh,
before that, when Daddy attacks him, he like puts his like fingers into his eyes.
all right, that's all for this podcast.
No, and then he hits Mommy with the fire poker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Daddy's
then-
in full
Yeah.
gimp outfit.
Yeah,
too.
Yes, Daddy's in gimp outfit.
and then he hits
again.
the dad, and
Yeah.
it breaks.
Yeah,
And then when he's running away from them, it's back intact.
yeah, and he runs away, and then they go to Alice, who's chained upstairs in the attic. And because I think Fool escapes up he's running through the house, and they're running after him, and then
He goes up the
he goes the chimney.
fire chimney.
Yeah,
thing.
the fireplace. He goes up
yeah.
through the
Fire
fireplace into the chimney. It shows Alice who's chained up in the attic, and Fool kind of, I guess, climbed all the way up the chimney, all the way to the attic. I don't really know. And he pulls out like a brick and he starts talking to her, and then he frees
oh,
her.
hey.
Yeah, he frees her, and he's saying like, "Come with me."
Yeah, and this is when Daddy comes upstairs, and she tries to like fake still being held up, and there's this. It's weird, man. Like Daddy.
Well, before this,
Yeah.
important plot point, Fool tells her how she's not really their child.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you talking about?" "Yes, I am." And he's like, "No, they stole you just like they stole all the other kids." and then that's when she's kind of like pissed. But then Daddy starts coming up, and she acts like she's still chained up, and then
Yeah, there's this weird, like I said, this weird sequence where like Daddy walks in full gimp, and he's like breathing real heavy and like walking real slow, and you're like, you know, you're okay, like wondering what's going on here, and then Mommy's like calls him back, and he like jumps, and you kind of assume that he was gonna abuse or assault.
110%. He's holding like his junk, like he's holding.
Yeah, like he touches his crotch.
Yeah, so he gets called away first, because I'm watching it right now. Also, he gets called away first, and then he tells her like about like, yeah, that's not your like your mom and dad, I believe. The mom's like, help me come to bed, like help me go to bed or something like that, and then he gets pulled away, and then I believe Fool's like, yo, those aren't your parents.
Maybe that might be right.
But then, like, what's funny too is like when the dad's like, well, I believe it's this part where he's like, Alice is a whore. She was with that guy or something like that, and Mom's like, you better not say that.
She slaps him.
Yeah, she like slaps him,
and then he.
I believe that's his part.
But
right?
then
It's after she gets away.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she like escapes again.
Yeah, well, she's escaping.
Escape
so,
from people under the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So he goes in the room and is like running around, like trying to find her. So they're escaping out the attic, and Fool's like trying to get her to come out the window.
That's way back when.
No, it's right. It's at that
Oh,
part.
and this is where they realize that the window.
Right, that they have to go up because
Yeah.
she can't make it down. Like,
Yeah.
so they have to try to formulate a new escape plan.
Right.
And they're like, we need to go up to get out. And this is where they go up and decide to start going with the chimney plan.
Yeah.
Chimney 2.0.
Yes.
I came up this way, we going back this
Because
way.
she can't get in, so she has to go out the window and up to the top of the chimney, and he'll meet her up there.
Yep.
Right. That does make sense.
Right. And so that is what that whole plan goes down. And then we cut back to Mommy and Daddy in the room discussing things.
Yeah.
And this is where Daddy pulls a Cody Garbrandt. And the second that Mommy slaps him, he takes a hand, he snatches her by the throat real quick. Just snatches her up.
Because up until this point,
Wait,
he was kind of taking all
Did
of
Cody
her shit.
Garbrandt did do that to a woman or something?
Did it to the snake.
Oh,
TJ Dillashaw in the fucking
Sneaky
Ultimate
snake.
Fighter. Come
but
on,
he
man.
he didn't get hit by him though.
No.
No, but he snatched it
Well,
up
there was
like an
a
eagle.
push and a grab
Yeah,
to the
shout
throat.
out. Shout out Cody, love you.
Yeah, like a eagle snatching up
up
a
a
snake. Shout out to the fucking snake, fucking TJ Dillashaw. Took a picture with him.
Fuck
you know,
you,
man.
TJ Dillashaw.
Two snakes hanging out in New York.
So then,
Yes, and this is where they have that plan with the brick. They like start making noise, so Daddy thinks that they're coming down the chimney.
yeah, he's about to get more CTE.
So he shoots up into the chimney, but he can't see if he hit anybody. So he like takes off his gimp mask, starts looking up into the chimney, and that's where they drop a brick
Like,
on his fucking head.
if the NFL wasn't worried about CTE, they should have watched this movie.
Yeah.
And I
But
like
this
how
guy's got it.
I like how Fool baits him too because he shoots up at the chimney and Fool's like, "Ow, I'm so hurt."
Yeah. Dude, he's a smart kid.
Yeah.
And then the Fool tries to go all the way down into the basement because when Daddy got hit, he dropped the shotgun, right? And it fell down through the chimney because there's a bigger the chimney goes past
The
just
chimney
first
goes
floor.
all the way to the basement
Yeah,
of
all
the
the way to the
furnace.
basement.
Yeah.
So it falls, the shotgun falls down, so
The mom grabs it.
Yes, and this is where she has it, and they slide down on top of her. And as they're fighting with her, he wrestles the shotgun away from her, and it falls down into the basement. And there's a bit of a weird conflict inside the chimney,
Yes.
where he's like sticking his fingers up her nose and stuff, and like wrestling.
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
and-
Picking her nose.
yeah. When they get to the first floor, though, Alice goes out through the first floor because Fool says, "Go out the back door."
Yeah, back door's open.
The
go out
back door's
door.
open. Leave. I have some. I want to finish with these guys.
I'm the boy of the house.
I'm the boy of the house.
I'll take care of this.
So, and that's when he goes down to the basement.
This is one of my
and-
favorite moves
yes.
in the movie too.
Which
so then
part?
the mom grabs Alice after this when he goes in the basement,
Yeah.
and Alice toe stomps her,
Yeah.
and I like cried laughing.
Foot stomps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does the fucking foot stomp.
Because she was supposed to go out the back door, but then chose not to.
Yeah.
And that's when Mommy got her.
And then they open then after that, when she gets toe stomped, the dad and the mom open the basement door, right? And Fool's there with the gun, ready to shoot their
Yes.
ass.
What does he say? Fuck, I forget.
I don't remember what he says.
Some little clever line.
Yeah, some 90s 1991 line, but then they flip the switch so he falls down again, like the stairs turn into a ramp.
Right. And Fool slides down the ramp. Are you watching this live?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Rob didn't watch it, so he's got to watch it now as we talk about it.
Well, we keep forgetting about the movie, so it keeps us on track. We've been right so far.
Yeah. So, yeah. Alice hides, though, right? Did they show her?
Alice, what she does is she goes into the kitchen, and instead of going to the cabinet, she climbs up the vent above the stove.
Yeah.
And there's that comedic scene where, like, they're looking around, and you just see her hand reach out of the vent
And grab her shoe.
and grab her shoe and pull it back up into
Yeah.
the vent. I'm telling you, it's this horror Home Alone.
Home Alone did come out in 1990, so.
Yeah, they copied it, I guess.
But yeah, so this leads to the Fool, his whole thing where he falls to the basement, and now Daddy's got a shotgun to his head, and he's like, it's over. And
We already went through this.
there's a knock on the door, and we're right here, and so we are.
Oh, you want me to
Ruby
continue?
opens-
Yeah.
Ruby at the door.
Yeah, Ruby's at the door, and she tries talking to Mommy about how, like, they're fucking up the hood and taking everything and not giving anything.
Yeah.
So then she shuts the door, and when she's about to go into the basement again, I think that's where she's heading to, she hears a knock on the door, and they're like, "Police, open up." So then when she opens up the door, it's just Grandpa and Ruby now, and they're like, "No, really, you fucking up the hood. You're not, like, helping anybody out. We're gonna do something about it." And she's like, "Who's, like, you and who else?" And then there's a whole,
The whole hood.
yeah, the whole crowd of people, like, the whole hood is behind them, like, ready to fuck up Mommy.
Yeah, and then this is when Alice jumps down and like
Yeah.
Rikishi bombs her or something, whatever it's called, like on
Yeah.
top of her head.
Yeah, Alice jumps through, like, the vent that's near the front door that they showed earlier in the movie, set up the plot device, and she jumps down onto Mommy, saving Ruby, because Ruby's about to get shot the fuck up with that big gun,
Yeah.
the big handgun. And
And then the mom gets a knife somehow, right? This is that part.
no,
No,
not
the Fool.
yet.
The
No,
Fool.
no, no.
So
The Fool.
they're
Yes.
the Fool. I keep saying that. I'm gonna go crazy. So Daddy's down in the basement trying to kill Fool. He's shooting a shotgun all over the place, and he shoots the padlock off the door that is keeping the people under the stairs locked up.
Right. One of the people under the stairs grabs Fool and, like, tries to hold him, like is pulling him along the wall,
It's like dragging him back in.
and then holds him still. And Daddy thinks that they're gonna hold him while he shoots. And then right before Daddy shoots, they let go of Fool, and he shoots the padlock. Like, that could have went so fucking wrong. Like, that could have just killed that kid and be like, "All right, fuck, still stuck in here. Oh, great, did nothing for us."
Yeah. So then that's when Fool finds the room with all the money in it.
Yeah, because
There's the electrical wires that he's an electrician or something now, and like knows which one to
he
pull. He's
ain't
like,
no
"I-"
fool.
But the best is he says like, what does he say? Something about he's been doing this for a long time.
something about an experience.
Yeah, he's
experience.
He's experienced. But at the beginning of the movie, literally I was telling
Yeah,
him,
he
like,
doesn't know anything.
You don't know
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I think he just says it to try to look cool in front of the people under the
Yeah,
stairs.
the people on the stairs.
Because they
looks
just
cool.
showed him where this room full of coins and money is.
Yeah.
So now Fool's got a zombie ghoul army.
Yeah, but question. The room, the wires that he pulls, was that to blow up the room? Like, was there explosives set
No,
up?
I think that's how the room
That-
opened.
Or that was the alarm system?
That was the alarm. I don't know. It was
I don't
either
think the door... I think the doors were already open. They were just afraid to go in because he kind of showed him, like, "Look, bro, there's, like, wires." So I think it would, like, let them know he was
I
in
think
there.
I think it was more so that was how they opened the doors by
Oh.
switch or something like that.
Oh,
That's my personal take on it.
yeah. Because they're really unclear of what the fuck those wires do. But it's just kind of a plot device. So Fool goes into the room, sees all the money, gold coins that is just laying around. Pretty much Mommy and Daddy's fortune. that
Yeah, and
they've
it's a
been
lot.
accumulating from taking advantage
Yeah.
of the hood.
So, then this is when Ruby and Alice open the door, looking for Fool. The
Right.
basement door. They're like, Fool.
They're looking around for
Yes.
him, and then they
When
hear
they turn back,
Mommy's gone.
Mommy's gone. And Ruby's a fucking dumb bitch and walks all the way outside to go, hey, is she out here? And then the door closes and locks behind her, so she can't get back in.
And this is where Alice walks into the kitchen and she discovers
Mommy.
and they have that weird little standoff, and Mommy turns around, she got a full on butcher knife. She's like, we're going classic horror now, and she's about to stab her up real good.
Who has a butcher knife?
Okay, here we go.
No, I just want to know.
No,
What do you
but
mean classic horror? Who's got a butcher knife? I'm just asking.
Kitchen knife.
Chef's knife, Rob.
Here we go.
Chef Curry.
Michael
I got-
Myers has a chef's knife. You better fucking
What
recognize.
about Norman Bates?
But then no,
Probably same shit.
before she gets in the kitchen,
Yep.
she tries to open the door, and then you hear over like the intercom or something like that. Like the mom's like, "You knew I wouldn't let you get away that easy."
Yes.
Oh no, she tries to hit the switch on the panel box,
Yeah.
and then that's when you hear over
But
something.
it says like override.
Yeah,
Something about how everything's been overrided and that she can't use the switches to unlock the doors, the shutters, all that kind
Yeah,
of
and
stuff.
then that's when she goes into the kitchen.
And Mommy's got the
But she's turned around and it's like awkward. looking.
Yeah, it
reminds me of like the Blair Witch Project.
yes.
Like,
that's
I was,
what
like,
thinking.
nervous. I was
Yeah. Is the witch here?
I didn't remember the scene from when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
Yeah, so Mommy like turns around with the knife and then she chases Alice.
How does that knife go right through the front door?
What do you mean?
The knife goes
Oh.
seamlessly through the front door. If you know,
It's a paper door?
I know what I'm saying in real life
Yeah.
or realistically,
Yeah, front doors.
front doors are
solid.
very expensive usually
And
and,
solid.
very solid.
Especially in a house like that, they're
Yeah.
very expensive. It's not a regular front door.
And
that
this
they
is
have.
another thing that I thought was funny. I don't know if you guys noticed this or can notice it now because Rob's watching it for the first time right now.
Yeah.
When she like turns around and I guess throws Alice on the stairs,
Uh-huh.
you could tell it's like a different person.
Yeah.
It looks like
I
a
noticed
dude in
that
a
too.
wig.
Yeah, no, I noticed that too.
And
Like,
then
it
when
was
she
definitely
shows
a
the
stunt
knife,
person.
the knife's like bending.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's the same. It's the same thing happens later on, like when Mommy's getting attacked, like thrown to the floor and stuff like that. Like it's definitely a dude in a wig, and like you can even tell like when Mommy's kicking her legs up, those are some straight real muscular big legs that were not hers, right in the big
Yes.
like the. Shout out to the stunt double.
I don't know.
And
But-
then the people break through the stairs
From under the stairs.
from under it. Yeah, people under stairs break through the stairs, through the walls, and they're grabbing Mommy.
Now they are the people above the stairs.
Yes, and then Alice
Stabs
stabs
him-
Mommy
yeah.
and says, "You go to hell," or something
Yeah.
like that. And
She throws her down through the stairs, I guess.
yes, throws her down the stairs. Fool set up explosives. You find out Daddy goes into the room with all the money.
Yeah, he hears
and-
him like
and
counting the money,
yeah,
thinking,
he hears money clinging together, and he thinks that he's counting it. So when he gets closer, he sees that Fool is a smart guy and put the
he is
coins,
really the fool.
Yeah, exactly. He puts the money in the candlesticks, so as the wax is melting, they'll slowly fall and cling together and make
And this
fucking
part
noises
too,
to distract him.
I believe they show the same part of it twice.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. With the coins falling?
Yeah, they did it twice.
Oh.
The same scene, like they show it,
Uh-huh.
and then they show Daddy, and then they show it again.
Yeah, I
the
wouldn't
same
doubt
coins
that.
fall.
Yeah, I really wouldn't doubt that because they probably, how many times they got it to fall and sound nice? They probably,
Yeah, very, very.
unlikely that they got a lot of takes of that.
Yeah.
But then Fool pops up and he's like, I set up explosives, and he's got the two wires that they just showed
Yeah,
when he ripped.
this kid's the master electrician.
Yeah, and he's ready to fucking blow up the whole place. He says it's like, either you let me out or I kill us both together.
Well, he doesn't say kill us both. He says I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
Like if you shoot,
I
But
don't
he's
want to
saying-
kill you,
but he's saying-
but I'll do it. But I don't really like you, and I'll do it. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's my guy.
so he says he's pretty much like, if
the-
you shoot me, then I will touch you together, and we both go out together. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And Daddy thinks about it for a second and he's like, nah, fuck it, and goes to shoot him, and he touches the wires together. There's a big explosion. Everything in the house blows up,
but full.
and Daddy's
Literally
Still
just
alive.
But like as this
Well-
happens, he's just like flying through the house.
yeah, like
But
he,
yeah,
does-
and he flies through like two walls, like the
Yeah.
same type of shot twice.
he doesn't get like blown apart, but he goes flying.
Yeah.
Everybody goes flying. The whole house pretty much blows the fuck up from the C4.
And then like there's like shot of him like perfectly fine, just looking hella exhausted, like hanging over the well, and he's just like, oh fuck it, I'm dead, and just
Yeah.
flops into the well, and that's the end.
Which I'm
Yeah.
assuming is like acid or something, right?
maybe
I was thinking it was like,
sewage.
yeah, like a septic tank or something. I thought, honestly, there would be more people down under there,
Yeah,
but that they didn't show. But it's like a trapdoor with a bunch of water in it. It looks fucking gross down there. And that's where they put Leroy's body earlier. Daddy falls down there into the water. It goes to a shot outside. There's the one main people under the stair guy. He's walking out, and like everyone's like grabbing fucking money that's falling from the sky.
But the two dudes that are walking out from the people under the stairs
yeah.
are like, so like, all right, let's just get out of here. Like nothing
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Well, they're free. Like,
But I'm
fuck
saying
it,
the
you know?
look on the face is like, all right, like
Be
let's
cool.
Just go, let's just go
Be
home.
cool. We getting out of here.
We out.
Yeah. And that is the end of the movie.
Yeah, you gotta give credit though. I think it's the last line of the film. Alice asks, "Fool, are you okay?" He goes, "I feel like $1 million," and it just like I was like, "There we go."
And then it plays some song that I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But they play, they let him know the hood won today.
And then there's money everywhere, and people are snatching it up.
Yeah.
They're being rich. That's the end of the movie. Altogether, there was 6 kills in it, 6 deaths. I don't know if you guys even bothered picking worst or favorite or least favorite, but you can go first.
I
guess,
didn't.
Mark.
I didn't pick for something like that, but this is a movie I used to watch all the time as a kid. Like I probably haven't seen it again. Like same thing with Critters, since I was like in maybe a teen. I might have seen this a couple years ago, but I used to watch it. I've watched it more times than I can count. I've always enjoyed this film, even like through the inconsistencies with stupid shit like when like cabinets are open then closed in the next scene, or there's too much blood on someone's face and less blood in the next scene. I never noticed that. Like, and that's just bullshit anyway.
I forget who it was, but somebody in, I think it was the horror movie business, said if you notice little mistakes like that, you're not really engaged in the movie, so they're not worried about it.
No, but I'm saying I never noticed it until now, until I had to write a review on it and write stuff down.
Right.
And I'm like paying attention to every little detail to give like facts or trivia
Yes.
stuff. So I understand that, but like if it was my first time viewing, I would have never noticed any of that stuff.
Yes.
But now it's like my 100th time seeing the movie, and I have to actually research and do write about it, so it's different. But like, I still like the movie. I still think it holds up today. 20, no, longer than 20, right? When did this come out? 91?
91.
Yeah.
I was born in 91, so it's 27, 28
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah, 20. This movie came out in November 91. I still think it holds up. It still has the aspect of like, not even the aspect, but like the idea of that there's people out in the world like this that are like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And like we talked about in the beginning of the movie, Rob said, or I think it was Rob or you that said like someone just got arrested for something like this,
Yeah, that was
not
me.
letting someone out.
That really just happened, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't pick a favorite kill or anything like that. I didn't really even think about it, honestly, with this movie. I know we talked about trying to do it with every movie,
Yeah.
but this didn't cross my mind.
Because the kills are kind of like, they're it's not like a slasher where they're the main focus. It's kind of just shit that happens, but I get it.
Yeah. But anyway, so all in all, I love this movie still. I love it as much as I did when I was a kid. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
I'm surprised it's that low from you.
Really?
Yeah.
I
I mean, I get it, but I just know how much you like it and how nostalgic it is for you.
also, like, this is a movie, I know they talked about trying to do a remake of it
Oh my God, please no.
or something, but like I could honestly see nowadays, I know Sci-Fi tried to buy the rights to make a show or a movie, but I could see like Jordan Peele doing a movie like this movie. I don't know why. Like how he's doing Candyman and stuff in the future. I feel like he would try to touch something like this.
I hope not.
Yeah, but so 7 out of 10. I highly recommend this movie if you haven't seen it. Like, don't pay attention to the little bullshit stuff that we were talking about. Just watch the movie, enjoy it. It's fun. How about you, Rob? What'd you think?
Yeah, so out of the movies we've done so far, this is the first one that I have never seen. All the previous films I had exposure to, so I like to refer to myself sometimes as the third wheel of the Vintage Horror Podcast, because Kyle and Mark have a lot more experience in horror films than I do, and have seen a lot more in general. So, as Mark was just saying, don't worry about the little details. Don't worry about the little shit. I am so satisfied with this film. I am so happy that I've never seen it before and that I got to see it now, and this is my initial reaction to it. It does certainly hold up today. I think it's a great, fun horror film. It is not designed to scare your pants off. It is not designed to make your stomach turn. It is designed as almost like a kid horror adventure with suspense. And I think it achieves its goals, and it's well put together. I like the characters. The actors do a really good job in this. I would give it personally a solid 7 out of 10. Not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but not bad by any means. Still a really good film. And you guys on the listeners might hear me oftentimes refer back to history. That's actually what I went to school for. And I love when films try to pull off some commentary and try to focus on historical aspects. So Wes Craven, obviously, amidst the backdrop of this fun, suspenseful film, had a lot to say about what was going on in the urban areas and communities of color in the late 80s into the 90s, involving landowners and property scams and stuff of that nature. And I think that Wes did a really good job here. He's the master. He's the GOAT. Like Kyle, I think that he's one of those, while I don't know much about horror and the horror world, I do know that Wes Craven is one of the great icons, one of the great gems. And he's definitely missed. And I really highly recommend to any of you guys, if you have not seen this, check it out. You will not be disappointed. And so that's my take on it. Sending it back to the host of the most. Let us know your feelings, Kyle.
All right, so Wes Craven definitely did a good job on this. It's not one of his most horror. It's more of a, I don't want to say comedy either. It's a family-friendly horror movie, I guess. His most family-friendly, I would say.
Well, I definitely haven't seen all his movies, so I wouldn't know that for sure.
I've never seen Vampire in Brooklyn. I'm assuming that's more
Shout out Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, but so I think he did a good job. To me, it doesn't hold a lot of nostalgia though. So it's a well done movie, but I think IMDb kind of has it right. It has it at 6.4. Being that we're not doing halves on ratings, I'm just going to keep it as a 6. Only because it doesn't have that high of a rewatchability for me. I've seen it, I think, one other time all the way through. Other times I've seen parts of it. This is the second time I've ever seen it all the way through in one sitting.
What's the reason behind that?
That I don't have,
That
like,
you
it doesn't
don't
have
seem-
high rewatchability
Yeah, you don't
for
seem
me.
to enjoy it so much.
It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just out of all the horror movies that I do like, this one isn't one that I would just pop in. It's just that there's so many other ones that I like more than it. That's all. It is family friendly. It's an easy watch. It's not that it's not an easy watch. But
So you're saying
like the story's not complicated. I don't have to follow it the whole time.
Yeah.
It could be in the background.
But this is definitely a horror movie too that doesn't really have downtime.
right.
Not trying to cut you off or anything,
Yeah.
but it goes like that. Like it
Yeah,
goes
that-
to the next thing. Next
that's what
thing.
I'm saying.
There's
It-
no like stupid dialogue where you're like, okay, this
Right.
is just
It's
here.
and you don't have to pay attention to every detail of this in order to watch it. But to me, it doesn't have high. It's just for me. I don't have high rewatchability feelings towards it. But yeah, I mean, my favorite kill, I'm gonna go with it, is gonna be when Mommy dies, because I think they actually show her getting stabbed. Everyone else is pretty much like pretty lame.
Yeah, it's a good
and
one.
my least favorite is Prince, of course, because fuck that. We don't
Yeah.
like when
Well, they
dogs
needed
die.
and I hate how they like in that scene too when he dies. Like, guess we got to go out and get a new dog tomorrow. Like, dogs are not replaceable.
Yeah,
You need
not like
time to
that.
mourn.
Yeah.
You fucking psychopaths.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I think I don't think I have anything else to touch on really. Do you guys?
No, I think I'm good. Mark, how about you?
Yeah. Back to like the thing with the remake. If they do remake it, like I'm not definitely not a fan of remakes. I guess I don't know if that
Yeah,
makes
we
sense.
we don't mind.
I like remakes. If this movie gets remade, I would watch it
Right.
because I do like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be against it. Or if they make it, I don't know. I heard TV show or something, but I know back in the day. Well, not back in the day. Like now, it's like in 2009 when the last House came out remake.
Yes.
I know there was talks that Wes Craven said like he would want to do a remake or a reboot of it, I guess, of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of went to development hell.
Right.
So this could be a movie I can see down the road getting remade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it definitely getting remade. We are in the era of the remake hardcore right now. But TV show, I don't think I would ever work. I don't see how this could work as a syndicated TV show.
They would make it work.
You know, as a one season, one off, and then maybe it like a
limited TV series, something like that. But
yeah.
I also did see people compare this to like Get Out. Like this was the Get Out of the 90s.
I mean, it does have that
Social commentary,
social
yeah.
commentary on
Definitely.
race.
Yeah. I haven't seen Get Out too also,
But-
so I wouldn't know.
I think that Get Out was definitely more impactful, though.
Well, I'd never seen it, but when I was doing research last night and reading different people's reviews and
Yeah.
what people talked about, like recently,
Yeah.
people said like this was like the Get Out of the 90s.
Well, that's one thing that Wes Craven does well. He always has his fingers on the pulse of society, kind of. Like, he always knows how to touch on things that's
Except Hills Have Eyes Part 2.
modern. What do you mean?
Because that movie was just trash and put together in like 1 second.
I'm going to say even the first one wasn't all that great, but I think that was in a time of, like, nuclear... People were scared of nuclear
Yeah,
things.
that like
and,
back then.
so,
nuclear
yeah,
fallout.
Yeah,
in the 70s, people were
Right.
scared to sneeze.
right. But, yeah, anything else?
No,
No,
I'm pretty much good with it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just I'm a little excited to hear what's up next on our
Yeah.
schedule.
I love Wes Craven. It won't be his last film that we definitely go over, though.
Oh, I hope not.
So
Yeah.
what are you trying to imply?
Nothing. I'm just saying we're
Okay.
going to get to other ones eventually. I'm saying I love Wes Craven. I just want to put that out there because
Yeah.
we didn't
Well,
really
I think,
touch on that much. We love
I
his works.
obviously love Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His works. I wish we touched on it a little bit more in the beginning, but like he's directed so many great movies, and I think it sucks.
Like
that
he
he's gone.
brought like horror movies back in the 90s with Scream.
Everything that he's put out, even like you know, Nightmare on Elm Street when he put that out, horror wasn't dead, but it wasn't. They already got into like the sequel
Yeah.
phase.
But
and
I'm
then
saying when it
that
came
was
out in the
fresh and
90s,
new, and then Scream.
It was like that was it. Like me before I was, I guess not to say growing up, like because I wasn't really watching movies, but like at that time period, there's nothing really good coming out.
right.
And
Yeah.
then Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just everybody thought that.
I
He
mean-
definitely did revitalize it, but
Yeah.
the thing is, he also brought in a wave of
Teen horror movies.
yes, which
Yeah.
people fucking either hate or love.
I'm
like
one.
it.
I'm the one of the people I love. I
Yeah,
love.
I
I
love
know
it.
what you did last summer.
Yes.
I love Urban Legend.
yes,
I like. I
Faculty.
love Faculty. I love
Yes.
all those
Oh
movies.
my god.
Because I
You're
guess because
speaking
that's
my
when I was
language.
becoming, like going into my teen years.
right,
So I was like,
yeah,
That's when we were growing up.
right.
yeah, so I
exactly.
loved watching it.
Wes is an icon, and he's a game changer.
Yes.
And I mean, he is responsible for some of people's fondest horror memories. the GOAT.
100%. So we just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, Scream's still one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun podcast.
And on to the next movie.
Bum, bum, bum.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
So the next movie we're going to be reviewing is Man's Best Friend from
Oh, I forgot about that.
1993.
Mark thought he had you pinned.
I thought I had Sleepaway
he
Camp
thought
too.
he thought he had you.
Is that what you thought I was going to
Yeah,
do?
because
Yeah.
you talked about Sleepaway Camp too. But
Yeah, no.
No, I
I've
know.
never seen Man's Best Friend, so
Yeah.
And just so the listeners know, Mark and I had no idea going into this what Kyle's pick was going to be. For
Yeah,
this,
I didn't
for
even
this
know.
one.
and I think we should keep it that way.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
Up till today, like even today, I was kind of thinking because I have obviously I have a few ideas, but I just didn't know which one. The thing is, I didn't want to do. If I can help it, for me, I don't want to choose so this is my pick, and then after this pick, it's my pick again. We kind of snake it. It goes me, Mark, Rob, then it goes Rob, Mark, me, Mark, Rob.
Yeah.
So I get 2 picks in a row. So I'm gonna try to make it a different decade next time. Just a heads up.
When
on
did this
that.
movie come out? 93 or 83?
93.
Yeah, so this is a movie I've never seen.
Have you seen it, Rob?
I have never seen
I
it.
never even heard of it until Kyle, I guess, downloaded it or something or watched it. And then I saw the cover art for it and I said, this is fucking
Yeah,
terrible.
so I downloaded it, and then right after I downloaded it, they announced Shout Factory that they were coming out with it.
The Blu-ray,
and,
yeah.
and it came to my house maybe like 2 weeks ago. It came out early and showed up to my house 2 weeks
So
ago.
have you seen it multiple times before or only once before?
I'm going to tell you a story on the next podcast. But
Oh,
yes, that's
all
my
right.
pick.
Oh, here we go.
That's my pick.
So Mark and I, we haven't seen this.
No, I've only
All
seen
right,
the
this
cover.
is going to be
and it looks
this
like
is
dog shit.
listeners. This is going to be this
Well,
is
the new Shout Factory cover does look like dog shit.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but it looks like dog shit.
this is going to be one of those
It's
rare
the white
instances.
background one.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those rare instances where Mark and I both haven't seen something.
Yes.
So I'm really hyped about this.
Well, it's kind of like with Hellraiser too.
Sleeping through doesn't count.
No, but I'm saying like honestly, I never watched Hellraiser fully through, but I
Yeah.
did see parts of it. I've never even seen a trailer for this movie, a clip other than the cover art. That's
Neither
all
have
know.
I.
Yeah.
Nothing. I've never even seen the cover. I don't even know
Yeah.
what I'm about to look at.
So while I did see this plenty of times, I probably haven't seen this in maybe like 10, 15 years.
What, Man's Best Friend?
Yes.
You've seen this before? You downloaded it?
Yeah.
I never even heard of it in my life.
Dude, I used to watch it all the time when I was little. Like I said, I will tell you a story.
we're gonna
Okay.
get, we're gonna get a
podcast.
deep
So
cut
it's no
story.
Cujo.
Yes.
All right. So I think that's it for us, guys.
I hope
Yeah.
you guys are as hyped as we are for this next one.
Yeah, so that's it for what did we review? People Under the Stairs, sorry. That's it for
You got so
People-
hyped on
yeah.
Dog's
You
Best
got
Friend.
shit in your pants.
Man's Best Friend. That's it for People Under the Stairs.
Wait a minute. Nobody made sex in this movie.
Yeah, nobody made sex. No. They were about
Can I
to
change
with
it to a 6 out of 10?
kids, but so if you want to contact us, give us any feedback, you can always email us at vintagehorrorpodcast or vintagehorrorpod@gmail.com. Our Instagram is at vintagehorrorpodcast. Our Twitter is at vintagehorror_. I'm not really convinced we're ever really working on that, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't be opposed to just deleting that and like going all questions to Instagram.
But I feel like some people don't use Instagram. Some people use Twitter.
I don't know. I feel like more people have Instagram nowadays, but
And you're quick with Twitter, so why not just go with it, you know?
yeah, whatever.
If you want to reach any of our personal stuff, you can find it through those means. And so we want to start getting some feedback on stuff like Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. So if you leave us a review and it's a good one, we'll read it out loud. We don't mind bad reviews. We want the truth. But nice reviews we'll read out loud on the podcast, give you a shout out. And that's it for us. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.